Hello.
I think of you when I wear glasses now.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know. This is your voice. Hello, Four Eyes. And I was like, I haven't been bullied in a long time.
Oh, I think you need it.
What do you mean? Being bullied?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wasn't bad.
Those look bad. Doesn't look bad?
No, it wasn't bad.
Okay, okay.
No, the
I
glasses
just,
look good.
I just like that was the first thought that popped into your head was somebody with glasses, and all you think is, oh yeah, four eyes.
I barely graduated high school, did I tell you?
No.
Uh,
Yeah, you kind of did. I guess
uh,
I could have figured that out.
what?
Context clues. I know enough about you. I know things.
Yes, I could have figured that you didn't pass that.
If I had a gun to my head, I could have figured it out. Yes. What'd you
Yeah, probably.
what'd you end up doing today?
Uh, some working out and some calling. Yeah, those things. Eating, you know.
Are you kettlebelling?
I am. This is like day two. It sucks.
Wow.
It sucks. It's
Are you
like
s-
not even fucking hard and it sucks. It's so bad.
you're not sore or you are?
When I did it like Friday or something, I was sore, but I'm not that bad today. I don't know. I just under like it's functional movement. Like lifting is not functional movement. It's like I'm so creaky and just like broken everywhere. So I think this is really good. It'll be helpful.
Good. Good. Greg, talk. Okay, since you can hear but you can't talk, shall I sing you a song?
Ooh. Uh,
Can you
is
hear
it in
me?
Korean?
No, I can't.
If
I
it's in
can't do.
Korean, yeah.
I can do Korean, but you're not gonna like it. All right, so I have a favorite show. Everybody knows my favorite show for the most part. It's Love on the Spectrum. I tried to send it to you, but you couldn't see it. Did you see it, Greg? Just nod. Look, eyes on the road. Eyes on the road. Just nod. Okay. Did you see Love on? Stop texting. All right, so you haven't seen it. Then I can't sing it because if I sing it, I'll give it away. But it's really good. It's like the season ender. Anyway, they're on three seasons. They're some of my favorite people because I think autism is pretty interesting. I guess they miss out on social cues and they're just very honest with people. But I think the flip side of that is usually if I give somebody, I don't know, feedback, I'm usually thinking of like the worst case scenario. And then with the autistic people, they're just kind of like, oh, okay, great, awesome, fun. So it's been a little bit refreshing. Anyway, I love the show. I think it's at an all-time high, season three. It's really good. You should totally watch it. I got my therapist to watch it and she loves it. Anyway, I can't sing the
Season three.
song yet because I don't want to spoil anything for you, Greg. Are you at one of your job sites? Just nod. Would you just body language this right now? No, eating dinner. Well, you don't have anything in your mouth, so good job fasting. Okay, enjoy breathing Texan air. When you get a chance, I would like to talk to you. That's how this works, right? Comunicación, really nice. Okay, do your thing. All right. I love being told to be patient. It's one of my virtues.
I think every chick hates that.
Oh no, we the best thing we like is when you tell us to calm down. So much fun.
Yeah.
All right, so the format of these things back in the day, Greg, since you're listening so intently and I have all your attention. I used to do this a long time ago. And the way that I like to do it is when it was a small group, essentially what we did was kind of like, talk about our week. What did we do this past week? Highlights, lowlights, and then what we were planning to do the following week, the coming week, sorry. And the whole point of it was just to keep yourself accountable. Because if nobody's, you know, reflecting you to you, then what do you look like? Sort of deal. Oh, this is bad. This is going to be bad. Are you eating tacos? If you're not eating tacos, I'm going to take you off camera. All right, good. At least you're on theme. Okay. But so that's it. The goal is Jacob taco cow. You know what? I feel like I should give you bony points, brownie points at this point. Nailing it. Anyway, so that's it. You just speak your piece is essentially what happens. So are you gonna, how about you get your dinner warmed up or do you want to talk, Greg? And what I should do is I should always make Mark go first. I just realized. I'm never gonna put baby in the corner. I'm never gonna put you last. Okay, great. Mark goes first then. I'm
I'm on
gonna
my
ask you to,
phone. I'm learning how to do this on my phone.
it's about time.
Yeah, I don't know. Today was good. I don't know. Just calling through a list on Mojo. Made an offer on, well, that was yesterday. I made an offer on a two-family in Dorchester. Got rejected. I'm still trying to work through some things.
How much did you offer? How much were they looking for?
Well, I had previously offered. They quoted me at like 9 or 950 or something like that with a two-family because they were gonna go and get a third unit approved.
Uh-huh.
They anchored me there. I offered them 7. They bought it for 6, like a couple years ago. I offered him 7. That was rejected. Then I met that chick at Squad Up who might be interested. So finally, we were able to come to terms on something. She's like, I would pay 800, and I was like, all right, I'm looking to make a fee, so I'll offer a little bit lower. She's like, I can pay
Yep.
810. So I just offered 800, contingent on permits, because the seller said that they would consider that. Then they went back on that consideration because they're like, well, if we have to wait the time anyway, so I was like, that's fair. So now they said they would do 800 as is. I don't know if that chick will do it, but I ran it by her, so we'll see if we can put something together.
I wonder if you got a verbal from your favorite people.
What do you mean? Who's my favorite people?
Who's your favorite people? Your favorite buyers that like as soon as you get a deal, you're like, oh, you're the first people that I want to talk to. You're the
I don't know.
best buyers that I have.
I don't really have any buyers. Like I'm in the baby steps. Like, you mean who I used to work with?
No, 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 no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Rockport, Rockport, and the
Oh
Boston
no,
house.
fuck them. So like
I know.
they didn't agree to that stuff, right? And then now today they're like, hey Mark, can our buyer get into the property? I'm like, bro, I'm accommodating and I'm not saying anything about it, but it's just so annoying. Like I'm asking for them to work with me for the deal, and like, yeah, this is in the contract, so they have the right to get in. But still, it's just like a little goes a long way with me, and that's kind of bullshit in my view. But I'm still doing it, and the seller's open to it, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
So no, fuck them. I'd rather not do a deal right now than have it be with them. They're annoying
All
me.
I'm
It's
saying,
frustrating.
all I'm saying is how about you use them? What about that?
Yeah, but
why
it's
don't
just
you why don't you use them to make you a verbal offer? So my guy, I love my guy. I'll send him pictures, and then there's a woman in the office, I totally forgot her name, that will run it, and she'll give him a range of where they want to be, the low end and then the high end. And because I had a listen, I didn't like my transaction with them because of that one guy, Sean McContre, and I will say it right now, and I hope he hears me. Like, anyway, he wasn't that nice, but at the end of the day, like my handler, my person, Gabe, is wonderful. And so he said, because you were a former client, we would love to be a little bit sweeter to you. So we'll give it to you for this. So I got a verbal for Brandy Brown, and the number came back crazy high, in my opinion. I had a local guy, ballpark
they
figure,
also
local
listen.
guy.
They also have
Yeah.
to actually get it sold though. So I understand. I mean, at the end of the day, your number they gave you was already worked in their numbers. That's just them negotiating, and they're using a two-party process. That's fine. I get it. And you're not wrong, and maybe I should just run it by them. But like it still annoys me. And
I
also,
know.
I'm pretty sure their paperwork says like they can back out almost until fucking closing day, I think, potentially. And with like basically no recourse, no deposit down, and all that. So I don't know.
They
That's
they don't
shadier
have
than
to
most
they
wholesalers.
they don't have to be your only buyer, but I also think it's an easy way for them. If they're doing such a high volume and they're constantly quoting things, they got to have some number somewhere. So
Yeah.
just get a number from them.
It's a way to sell deals that are not deals. You're not
It's
wrong.
Okay, and it's also a way just to get a number because maybe you're not seeing something, or maybe they have stronger Dorchester buyers than you do. Maybe they're able to do something that you can't. And so all I'm saying is just get a verbal from them. Just get a pulse. That's it.
Yeah, this chick that I met was the high buyer, but yeah, you're not wrong. It doesn't hurt.
The chick that you met is the high buyer.
Yeah, she was saying like she'll pay like 900 for a two family immediately that like she could then go get permits on. Like not even contingent on permits. Like I was like, okay, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. I was like,
Have
this is
you
good.
talked to maybe Rachel? She
Yeah,
was
I ran this buyer.
okay. What'd she say?
So I told her everything. I was like, I anchored at 7, they whatever, whatever. I was like, they bought at 6. She's like, yeah, we probably would even want to be lower than that. And like, I think she just pays a lot. I think she probably somehow pays a lot. I don't know.
Rachel pays a lot, meaning what? She pays too
For
much
like
money or too little money?
renovations, I don't know. She was saying she needed to be at like 600 or lower, which I get. Like lower than
Yeah.
600, contingent on, I don't know.
We would all love to be free. I get it. But yeah. Okay.
It just seems very aggressive. But I don't know. I called the new list today. Devin set me up with some sort of like he's getting some automatically scraped AI fucking thing or something like that. Good list. I only made like 200 calls or less, and I pushed 5 people who raised their hands and will absolutely be selling their properties. Um, so that's good. I got on a call with Scott Mednick from Sub2 Does Storage, who I met at Squad Up, and we kind of discussed like what equity percent might look like. I'm basically just calling for him and like setting appointments with anybody who raises their hand. He kind
Is
of
his stuff is nationwide?
yeah, ish, but like I don't know, he's in Southern California, so like there's some Arizona, California, out that way. He gave me a list
What's
of
it?
maybe 500 or 600 people.
What's his buy box? What's he looking for?
Pretty much it's like storage deals owned by mom and pops that are usually like 10 million or under. Most of them are trading anywhere from like 2 to 4, 2 to 5 million. He then does like syndications for them to like raise money. So we were talking about like equity percentage. He's like, yeah, I know Pace just like throws around 10% easily. He's like, but I'm syndicating these deals, and he gave me some excuse like that, which I think is fair and makes sense. So he was more along the line saying of like usually he'll like have 30% ownership in it. So he's like, I could cut you 10% of that though, or if like you bring me something else, like we go 50-50 on that. And I'm like, okay, like that's
Hmm.
not bad. I think he tries to exit them in usually 5 to 7 years. So usually some sort of value add or adding websites or whatever. Um,
I like that you did a sub squat up follow up. That's good. The whole like keeping the momentum thing.
well, that was like the main thing that I wanted out of it is to be able to wedge myself into some of those deals, right? So I got some people I needed to follow up, and he already had sent me the list, and I'm just trying to iron some stuff out. But I still have that other kid, Brandon Willard or something like that, to follow up with. He said he had a list that I could reach out to for RV parks or whatever. So that's good. And then just as far as like closing on my current deals, red hair, long beard, I don't think so. No. I met a
You
lot of
you would
people. But
you would know this man. This man is in cowboy boots, probably no socks, probably no underwear, and like the biggest beard, the biggest gingery man, and also like the sweetest guy. Yeah. First time
I don't think I did.
Greg, I met him on his birthday at a community camp, and as soon as I saw him, I knew exactly who he was, and I was like, "I know you, I know you," and he's like, "I know you," and I was like, and then we took a picture for you. It was cute. I did not expect that. I'm in the hallway trying to get like a speech ready because Pace was like, I'm gonna put you on stage. And I was like, I fucking knew it. I didn't prepare shit for this. Okay, here we go. And I'm trying to write down notes, and then like Kenley comes out of freaking nowhere. Anyway,
That's
Kenley is
funny.
sweet. Kenley is Greg's partner. So they're down in Texas. The two of them are the ones that together have the largest wholesale fee in all of Sub 2. Total
Nice.
cowboys.
Yeah. Remember
Cowboys
that. He was
and
badass.
the nicest people on planet Earth, truly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Greg is debatable. We'll flush him down a toilet. Yeah. So I don't think you got a chance to meet what was Kenley doing there, Greg? Can you unmute now? You screaming at homeless people?
Howdy, howdy. Yes, I can. Kenley was just over there networking, and we got he went down there. He met some person who has a deal under contract, I think, in Dallas, so in Dallas County. Um, and they have big liens on their property. They sent me the paperwork. I went over them. I can get them. I can get them removed. So probably in 37 days. They're trying to get it done, I think, as quick as possible. So I just got to get the paperwork's ready to go. I sent them a consultation agreement. The liens total in excess of $145,000, something like that. So that'll save the seller that much money. I told them that I would do it for 20 grand. So they just got to sign the paperwork, and that should be some easy money. So that was pretty cool. But he really just went down there to network and just find more people to work with, tell them what we specialize in. And he met a lot of people, raise private capital. He's really good at that. So whenever you get in the right rooms, there's people with money who want to get into real estate. They're not exactly sure how, the whole deal. And, perfect way for them is to lend money. If you want to get in real estate, you don't know how to find deals. You don't know what a good deal is. And you want to learn, lend money, especially with people who are experienced. So he went
So
down.
was that the primary goal for him, just to network, meet new faces, new energy, kind of like realign goals or get tighter on your goals? Obviously, raising money, everybody's always raising money. Are you guys doing anything different this year?
Um, we revamped our marketing. We trimmed a lot of fat. I think at the biggest point in time, we had about 15 cold callers, and we were just mass marketing, pushing through so much fucking list. And we kind of fine tuned it, dialed in, and we did the sniper approach, sequential marketing, meaning one after the other. Kind of like this gentleman's doing it. I don't recall his name. I didn't get a chance to see it. What's your name, sir?
Mark.
Mark. Okay, you are Mark from last week. Whenever I was supposed to send you that RV park, and I haven't done it yet. I didn't forget. I just been really busy.
No worries, man.
But I will get around to it. I gotta find it. It's inside of my CRM. I need to get my cold caller to pull it and send it to me. That way I can send it over to you. I had a discussion with them already. I just haven't got around to reminding them. But we just dialed in our marketing. We're just cold calling, super niche list, and that's been paying off big time. I got two really big 6-figure deals lined up. Try to knock them out of the park, and then I guess my biggest goal this year is to move back to Houston. I live in Temple, Texas right now. Houston's about 3 hours south of me, and just LIVIN, start living over there.
Were you caught up on your sleep?
Man, absolutely. I feel fucking wonderful today. Phenomenally.
Good. And you're working out too?
For sure. Got to get swole.
Every day?
Not every day. I was doing it 6 days a week. I went down to 4. I got burned out.
Okay. Getting swole like Jesus, right? Or Jesus. Is that how you call it down in Texas?
Yeah, I got to
right.
change my name to Jesus after I get a swole of Jesus as Jesus.
Your traps look good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the compliment.
And you flustered. If I give you one compliment, immediately flustered. All right. So Greg, couple of things. Mark,
Yes.
Greg used to own a VA company. Let me see if I can remember the name. My memory is really shot lately. I can't remember the name, but I know they're from Egypt. And I know
Hourglass Virtual Assistants.
I wouldn't have gotten it, but it was in the archives for sure.
Yes.
What happened? Did you dissolve that or?
I dissolved it. Virtual assistants have a high attrition rate, and your client is usually somebody who's new. And somebody who's new who's getting into real estate. Whenever they market, they got these credit cards, they got a lot of money, they're really excited, they have shiny object system, they purchased all these tools they don't use, and then one of the biggest costs is virtual assistants. They're not utilizing them correctly. There's not enough deal flow. We always ask the question preemptively, hey, do you plan on marketing for 90 days? Because if you don't, this is not the right thing for you. And do you have your marketing dialed in correctly? Because if you don't, you're going to spend a lot of money. This is not the right product for you. Everybody's always like, yes, but high attrition rate, high turnover. And then, of course, you're working with a lot of women, and I'm not saying nothing mean about women at all in the least
No,
bit.
childcare.
Dramatic. Yeah, there's just somebody's fucking off at work, somebody got a raise, this person didn't. It's just like a real office. It's insane.
My thing with the Filipinos, and I'm not trying to be like rude, but my experience has been like every other week something like traumatic was happening. This girl would tell me I don't know, she's like 22 years old and she's like, my mom just died. And I was like, You know what I mean?
Well, they
Like,
have all sorts of storms. Yeah, there was always like storms when I was like managing that one. Every other day, like I might need to use backup power. I might have to go somewhere, which
yeah,
is
they're like
fair
naked
and
and
real.
wading through water. Everything was just like terrible. And I was like, oh my God, you don't need to work. And then I got at the point where I started just giving them money. I was like, here's money for nothing. And then I was like, I gotta stop doing this. I don't know how true that is. I don't know, but it was just too stressful. And the one who I did like, she was like a bank manager, former bank manager, and she was fabulous. Everybody else that I feel like I met through all those websites, like I can't even remember the names of it, but the stuff on Facebook and then running your own personal ads like Reva Financial or something, it was all a hot mess. I kept
Yeah,
going
I
through
think
cycles of hiring and firing.
I was sending them on like group vacations. Like I was doing a lot of stuff for them, paying some of the Ron. His father legitimately died. He did handle payroll, things like that, just admin stuff. He did a lot for the company, and his father died. He took off for 2 weeks, and I still paid him for his 2 weeks. And
Wow.
I feel like I took care of them, did everything that I could, and they were still sneaky. They still stole time. They still stole money. Um,
Hmm.
and it's just I don't know. Well, I think what had it was there was Christmas. I gave everybody a $50 Christmas bonus, and for the whole company. And the top VA, she told them that we only gave them $25 a piece, and she kept all the $25 a piece for herself. And
No. Yeah.
she started taking my VAs and having them work for other people, and doing she was just doing VA arbitrage. They were working for me, and she was charging them for working for other people, and cutting us out. So I was just like, you know what? There's too much management. There's too much mismanagement. There's too much management. There's too much. I'm not a fucking therapist. I can't do this no more. I'd rather focus on real estate because I make, more money from this, and I'll focus on my marketing. But we had 15 VAs calling at once, and we had them on a split shift, so they were calling 8 hours. It was 8 hours and 8 hours, and then
Yeah,
they overlapped. I think like 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the day.
that's crazy impressive. I always think when it comes to people that steal, I'm like, listen, if you're smart enough to steal, you're smart enough to do this the right way. How come we can't just like align ourselves and be on the same side of the table? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a William Prosper went to the Philippines, met my head VA. Whenever he met my head VA, he introduced her to one of the veteran people. That veteran person is the person she started working with. So it's all fucking William's fault. No, it's not William's fault, but it's just a funny story.
Yep. Yep. All right. So let's go all the way back. The point of the accountability call is last week you set some goals for yourself, right? What were those goals that you set for yourself this past week? What were the things that you were supposed to be getting done this past week? And did you or did you not get it done?
Is this for both of us or just for me?
No, for everybody. So again, the whole point of accountability is just for you to have a space to come and say your piece and for you to say that shit to my face so that maybe you feel some type of way, either hearing yourself say it or the fact that you have to admit it out loud or the fact that I'm going to hear you and ask you questions about it. It changes you. Yeah.
Uh, did you write my goal down by chance?
Oh, that is so my favorite whenever I'm like all my friends is like free secretary. Let me think.
I mean,
This is
mine are just the same as they. Aside from like the adding the storage and getting on the call, like with Scott, which I did, it's all the same. I'm trying to generate leads. I'm trying to make offers. I'm trying to, you know, I'm on track with some stuff.
so last week you had just come back from Squat Up, right?
Sounds
What
about
was
right.
your
Yeah.
what was your feeling about coming back from Squat Up? What were you feeling at the time? How many calls did you want to make? How many people did you want to sync up with? Like what do you remember what you were feeling?
It was just good to like network with like-minded people, to be honest, because like I don't do it too often. So it was nice seeing all different people like trying to come together for one good thing. But obviously, I had my goal of the storage units and all that. That was the main thing from Squad Up that I got or
Did
that
you
I
have a
wanted.
number? Did you have a number of how many people you wanted to sync up with?
No, no, it was like in general, I want to sync up with people that are operating these first and foremost, and then some lenders. I probably got like 7 to 10 different types of lenders or whatever, and then couple RV park guys. I think really mainly only one, and then a storage guy. So It was what it was. But I was like chasing them down, you know. So whenever I would see like the flag that says whatever they do on their badge, I would. So I just didn't see too many, you know.
And
There were
then
almost like too many people, but
yeah, well, that's not a bad thing. Better than too little people. And then coming back from Squad Up and you saying like, I like hanging around those types of people. Do you have new goals for yourself? Are you like, I want to make more real estate friends. I want to more regularly attend those meet and greet places.
yeah, like that's all fine and good, and I'll make those now that I'm like on my own doing business just naturally because I'm wearing all the hats. I will come across that. But at the end of the day, number one thing, it's the one thing I have to focus on is getting leads and deals and getting the business. So like, yeah, great, I can run around and talk stuff. Obviously, if I discuss, it can be business related, but at the end of the day, for me to grow my business, I need to get on the phone, talk with more people, make more offers, get more deals. So that's like the main thing that I have to like. Anything else is just a side quest that is not necessarily worth it right now, but
I
will be
wonder
worth it.
I wonder if you can break that down into a couple of smaller things because I feel like that's how also burnout happens. If there's nothing exciting for you, if you're not seeing progress, right? Like you and I were talking about going to the gym, and then I was like, well, gym for me works when there's progress. And so I
Yeah,
almost feel like if you're doing the same thing every day, which is like every day carry the mountain, I feel like you're going to get to a point where you're like, this is fucking boring. I'm over it. I don't want to do this anymore. Versus
yeah,
if you're like, hey, I looked at my KPIs and I need to time block better. I get better call rates at like 9 o'clock at night. And so for 1 week, I'm going to try calling at 9 o'clock at night and I want to see how that works. You know what I mean? It's almost like dialing in all the things that you're doing instead of just every day carrying them out. You know, they have that
yeah.
expression
I mean,
1% better. What could you be doing that would make you 1% better from this week to the next week?
yeah, I get that, but also like that's what happens when I hire and delegate, right? Like I'm not at that point yet. I have some deals in the pipeline. You know, those get closed. I'll reinvest, right? Get some more lists. Maybe hire a cold caller.
So
Delegate some
what
of
you're
that stuff off.
so what you're telling me is you're completely perfect, and the only way that you could be more effective is if you had more marks on. Okay, got it.
Or if I spend more time, if I spent more time doing some of those activities, right?
I don't know.
But
I'm all about work-life balance. I am because you can't. You're not just money. That's not who you are. Yeah.
yeah, so I called to the amount that I can stand at this time, and I've been doing pretty good so far this year with what I've actually, as far as like number of calls I've made and what I have under contract. Like I'm pleasantly surprised with it. I'm okay with it.
I'm not
I need
trying to
to keep it going.
spank you,
No, no,
but what has closed? What is actual money? Now, I know you just started at this at the beginning of the year and there's only been like 3 months, but
yeah, I
what's
started
across the
calling in
finish?
January.
What's across the finish line so far?
I mean, nothing. Everything as of the end of this month, beginning of like first week in May, everything should be closed.
First week in May. So 1 month from today, there should be how many deals closing for you?
Haverhill, Wareham, East Boston, at least the three, probably three.
3. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And one of your goals is to
What?
flip a house.
Yeah, yeah. Which like I have one under contract that I was gonna partner on. So like that happened pretty quickly with the sellers trying to back out, and I'm trying to feel out that situation. So I'm still working on that. Technically, I'm still under contract, but I'm not trying to hold anybody under contract that
That doesn't want
rightfully
to be.
doesn't want to be or whatever. But if it is for a higher offer, I'm gonna try to figure something out. So that's where I'm at on that.
I think I can help with that one. I'm very good at it. I speak, you're not gonna like this, but I feel like I speak vagina. I have a way with women. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, yeah, with those Crocs that you rock, like for sure, for sure.
it is. It's some sort of like lesbiana way where they're just like, here's everything. But it's nice. And at the end of the day, like I'm on the same page with you. You and I were not malicious people. We're not trying to take advantage of people. And for some people, I feel like they understand that more easily about me. And then at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get to a solution, whatever that looks like. And obviously, you and I think outside the box. So anyway, I would just say maybe roll the dice or flip a coin. And if there's a time that you need to summon me, summon me because I think I could do it.
I'm having Devin cold call her tomorrow to be like, hey, you're interested in selling? And her answer to that is going to answer everything. So that's all that really matters. I've never had a seller. The only times I've had sellers ghost me while I'm under contract with them, just a short week or two after they got a different offer. That's the only reason.
I know. And I know you have like 5 years of doing this and at a much higher volume. And I know you know people. Did you take a look at so I have a favorite video, Todd Toback. Did you see that one?
Probably not.
Can you see it or can you play it while you sleep so that possibly subconsciously you absorb it? It's one of my favorite videos.
Maybe.
I love it. I'll post it in the Creative Elite group, but essentially I love it because he holds people's hands. So my thing is I get overwhelmed. If I'm trying to like move a mountain, I need it to be chunked out and broken out in steps for me. And it's not easy for me to always figure out what those steps are. So having somebody to like, what is it? Bounce, what do you call that? Bounce an idea off of? Rachel, help me out.
Yeah,
Sounding board.
Sounding board.
Yeah, having a sounding board and having somebody be like, okay, so blah, 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 blah. The next step is what? And then if this, then that, if this, then that, and then you kind of like map out a plan together. And I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody about exactly this conversation just last weekend. I can't remember any of it. But somebody who was saying that they feel anxious if they don't know the plan forward. It was Sean Sandville. Sean Sandville was like, I get very anxious if I don't know the plan forward. I need to have something mapped out for me. And I was like, well, why don't you help your clients figure out the plan together, right? If you're on the same side of the table, instead of sitting across from her and being combative, not that you are combative, but like when you're across from somebody, you get that feeling versus you're on the same side of the table, like a really lovey-dovey couple at the restaurant where you're like, get a room already, that kind. And you're like, hey, let's link arms and figure this out together. That's what I love. And so Todd Kovac has a really fucking genius way of doing that, of just helping people figure it out and doing it in a way where it's not competitive, it's not combative. It's just very much like, I'm on your team, I'm here to help. What happens next? Let's unpack this together. So I'll post it again, but I would encourage you to, next time you're on a drive, listen to it. It's like a 40-minute thing and I love it.
Yeah, I'm down to listen. She just like I physically cannot speak with her. She doesn't answer the calls.
You don't speak vagina.
Yeah, I get
I don't know
it.
what to tell you.
Like I would even have, so let's say you signed a contract with someone to buy their property at $100,000. And you sign the contract, you sign the offer, you sign the P&S, and all of a sudden they're trying to back out because, or maybe it's after you sign the offer, maybe you didn't sign the P&S yet, or whatever. And maybe someone offered them, you offered it 100, maybe someone offered them 175. Do you let go? Because you said like, oh, I would never force someone into it. But like, I've gone somewhat into a situation like that, but like, what would you guys do? Like, would you just be like, okay, with someone else?
I look at it like this. I'm like, you have other options, right? Like, you don't need to move forward with this deal with me. Like, we can do it if you want. I make sure that I'm like, you absolutely sure. I let them look at the contract before I fill it out so they can review it if they have any questions while I'm filling it out. Then we go through it, read it. Hey, you sure you want to do this? Like, I'm happy to help you and all that. And technically, if you're a buyer and you sign with a seller and the seller tries to back out to get a higher price, like it's not a legitimate reason to back out of a contract. Like, you signed a legally binding contract. Technically, it could be grounds for like, if and when the closing date goes by, that could be grounds for buyer to file list pendants and cloud title of the property because the seller did not make good on their end of the contract. Technically speaking, like, that's not a reason, you know?
Well, that's because that's what we did on our East Boston flip, that we kind of like forced them into it because I think that they got a higher offer. And we're like, well, you already signed your contracts and like, it is what it is. You already agreed to sell it. And then the lawyer did the lawyer things to make it go through. And I was like, oh man, like you said that. I was like, oh, am I a jerk for making them go through with the contract? But I agree. I think like once you sign the contract and like you go through it, like it is what it is. Agreed to it. I plan for it. I'm putting stuff in place for it. And, you know, even if you sell it for lower and then you get a higher price later, like You signed a contract.
I mean, that's what the whole contract is for, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the entire reason that it's in place. It's like, listen, I'm not like a high pressure guy. If somebody's like, hey, I need to get my attorney to review it, great. Like, what's his email? I send it to him right now. You can have it reviewed. I'm never going to suggest they don't do anything like that. But like, when you ask them, like, do you have anybody else to run this by, like attorneys, anything like that? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, so it seems like you're not really 100% sure on moving forward with this. Like, I can do A, B, and C for you, but like, if it's not the best fit, I understand. If he like grabs the paperwork, signs it, this was after she's already read it through, like none of that stuff. So I don't know. It's just, it's weird. I've never had somebody just not talk to me. Usually I have, but it's like they have a higher offer. Now, if she has a legitimate reason, like if I find out she has a legitimate reason, whatever, I'm happy to cancel the contract. But usually so it's one of those things. It's tough. I'm not trying to force somebody who doesn't want to sell her house, but here's the thing. She absolutely wants and needs to sell her house. And she's going to, and it's either going to be to me, who she was already under agreement with, or to somebody else who paid a couple more bucks because she rethought her situation or whatever. And that's a situation that doesn't really fly with me.
Honestly, the couple or more bucks, that's not even reality. If you're ready, willing, and able buyer and somebody made her some sort of promise or put some fantasy inside her head, they may or may not perform. Versus you are ready to perform. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I hear you when you say like, yeah, somebody else came along and like wiggled their boobs at her and now she's seeing stars. But at the end of the day, that's not a done deal. If you are a done deal, you made her a fair offer, you're ready, willing, able to perform. The other thing to also to consider is you purchasing that property or you mentally getting ready or putting your ducks in a row, putting your lenders up. Like, for example, the house that I lost at this moment in time, because I will get it back, because I will never get up. All my contractors that carve things out of their schedule to be there on time, that came to quote my job, all the materials that we bought, that we loaded up, like all these people were disappointed. My lender was disappointed, right? So all these opportunities, all the other opportunities that they could have had that they didn't have because they committed to my job because I thought it was a done deal, and then everything has to blow up. At the end of the day, am I going to be fine? Yes. But if I'm carrying, the weight of the world on my back with all these other people, that's something to consider. And I think it's important for you to remind your seller, being like, listen, I'm ready, willing, able buyer, here to perform. You and I had an agreement that we were in this together. Like, bitch, we're going to the altar. Do not leave me standing. You got cold feet. You think your massage therapist is cute and you want to bail on me. And I get that, but I'm going to give you kids and I'm going to give you the rest of my youth forever and ever. Amen. Like, I'm the real deal. I'm in it to win it. Don't fucking look left and look right. Just look at me at the end of the altar. I'm just saying.
So, I mean, also, here's the thing, right? I disclose that I'm an agent because it's the right thing to do. I also tell her, look, you can get more if we list this thing on market. So I told her, I was like, literally, we could probably list this thing and get $275, maybe even $300 on market in the condition it's in, but you'll need to clean it up. You'll need to pay commission and closing costs. And then I was like, I can be at 200. She's okay with 200, she said. She also had met with brokers before who brought cash buyers up to 180 that did not fit her needs. So she said 200 was reasonable and that she could do that. Also, She has done like she used to work with some sort of developer who would do like condo projects. He would get like larger, like 3, 4, 5, 6 units and break them down to condos. And she like worked with him in some capacity. She's not savvy. So it's like, yeah. So it's either a legitimate situation that's going on or it's just a couple more dollars. And I think it's probably the second. But either way, I'll deal with it. I sent her a nice and caring and also helpful but pointed email and text message today. So we'll see.
Are you comfortable submitting a affidavit of interest in real estate?
You mean something that would be like recorded at the registry? I mean, we're not there yet. She also has contingent on seller finding suitable housing, but that wasn't even the reason she used. Like, but she can't really use that. I think she might be savvy enough where she knows she can't really use that because it's only been a week and she would have to prove like what home search activities she's done.
I would so I have a copy of it. This is a document I paid for in Connecticut. So I was helping a guy who was like an active alcoholic. And he was a hot mess and a half. And I should have walked away a long time ago. Anyway, I ended up putting, I try to use like PACE's documents, but PACE's documents don't actually fly in Connecticut. So I paid to have a Connecticut attorney write up this thing. And it's called an affidavit of interest in real estate, They have one for Connecticut and she gave me one for Massachusetts. So you have the document. I'll give you my attorney, Hong Tran, who I love. He's very creative friendly. You can hire him for like a one-off thing and he'll be fine with it, because he wants like world domination and he'll do it all. But I would have them file it. Whatever the filing fee is, I'm sure it's going to be like $150. But I think it's worth it. I think if you're serious about real estate, right? If you've made somebody a bona fide offer, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I had the same thing on Brandy Brown,
Yeah.
where
I just want to make sure it's not a legit thing. Like I'm not trying to fuck it. Like she's an older
even
lady.
if it's
She
a
has, like,
legit
whole, like,
thing, even if it's a legit thing, you can always blow it up. You can always cancel it. That's not a problem. But
if
you
it's a
said
legit
what you
thing, yeah, no. If it's a legit thing, I'll let her out of it. But I will ask if she'll do me a solid and maybe give me a first right of refusal or something like that, right? Because if it's literally like, hey, Mark, I'm deciding to keep it. If I do sell in the next year or two, I'll give you a first look. Like I think that's a reasonable trade.
What is it?
Like
Condo?
right, it's a
No,
townhouse.
Oh, what's a townhouse? It has an HOA, no HOA?
There is an HOA, but typically they're like
Lower?
stacked on top of each other, so you don't have neighbors above you. So it's like 3 stories, garage below, main living floor, second floor. Versus
never
like
understood that.
condo in a building.
Yeah. Okay. Row house, townhouse. Okay.
Yeah.
That you talk about, like the affidavit, I think, because I mean my attorneys have done that, but they never charged me more than like just a normal closing. Like the closing fee is the same, so
Yeah.
I just have the attorney do whoever you normally use. Like I don't know, maybe it's because we only always work with one attorney. I don't know, maybe he gives us a deal, but I didn't think so. I mean, they just file it. I just tell him like, hey, Jim, I think someone's backing out of this. Like, make sure they don't. And then he just does his thing and makes sure that it goes through.
So anytime I've ever been in situations where sellers are trying to back out and there have been people who want to record documents, it's always something that typically needs to be notarized by the selling party. Like even if you have something in the purchase and sale agreement saying that you can, I've had attorneys push back saying that seller needs to notarize.
No.
But this is like if you're going to record the PNS.
Yeah. So if you want to, so for me, the affidavit, I can send you a copy of it. Affidavit says 3 things. It says, I have a binding contract dated on this date between me and her, something else in the middle. And then the last part is a copy of it is held at this attorney's office. And then I sign it and the attorney signs it. That's it. Affidavit is a simple thing that like, I solemnly swear that this is true. This is factual. This is my statement that I said. You don't have to get the seller to agree to shit because the seller already signed something and you're simply saying that I do solemnly swear that we actually have something signed and it's stored here. And then for me in Connecticut, they had a 1-pager of that and then they filed the actual purchase and sales and you pay per page. So don't have a long one, but yeah. Yeah, or you could do the short one that simply says, if you want to see the purchase and sales agreement, then contact this attorney. And then at that point in time, anytime your attorney is notified, they'll tell you so-and-so requested a copy of your purchase and sales agreement. But I used it in Connecticut. It was a total shit show. The sisters at the last minute came to like rally for their brother. And it was like a local, I don't know, it was some sort of like town people where they had like a lot of money or something, like a very well-to-do small business. And they had their business attorney who was a fucking pit bull up my lawyer's ass. And I could just tell by the way my lawyer was talking to me that she wanted out. And so I said, listen, fuck it, we're out. Don't worry about it. Let it go. But it works because I tested it. And now Mark, all of this is lost on him in the ethers of the internet. Wake up, Marcus.
Well, I mean, I don't know the technical things of what my lawyer did, but we only had an offer. We did not have a PNS, but we had signed by both parties, and he forced them to sell. In East Boston, he forced the sale and said, no, there's a legitimate offer. He fought back and forth with the attorney. The attorney tried to get out of it. It went on for like 2 weeks. And then they're like, okay, then they signed the PNS and that was it. Like, I think they tried the PNS stuff, but then we were like, nope, we'll agree to anything. We're paying cash.
Yeah.
We're buying it as is. Like, you can't get worse than as is. And so we forced the sale on them.
Beautiful. If you text me the address, I'll pull the document for you because it should be like recorded somewhere because you can't have the sale without it being released and it won't be, and even if it gets released, once you put it on, it gets recorded and then the release or the discharge gets recorded too. So if you give me the address, I can pull the
Of
document.
what,
But that,
of what you're filed?
yeah, that sounds fabulous.
It's 42 White Street in East Boston.
White as in like normal white or with a Y?
White, normal white, the color.
Okay, 42 White Street in East Boston or Boston?
East Boston. Well, I mean, I think on the address it'll just say Boston, but it's, yeah. I think it'll just say Boston.
Yeah. I don't like Boston personally, but I know what you're talking about just because of that whole thing where I'm like,
Boston, a crap show with zoning. I was going through zoning today and like just watching the other developers and like what they go through in the city of Boston. It's the biggest crap show nightmare. Like I saw this one guy that went up there that they got the building developed. They had to get it rezoned from business to a use for a mini golf place. They got it approved months ago. And then the tenant comes in, he gets his permit to build, and despite it being on the original documents, they make him go back to zoning because they have a DJ booth. And it's a mini golf place. He's like, "Look, it's a mini golf place. We're not having live music. We're not having raging parties. We just have like a little stand and pre-recorded music on shuffle. Like it's nothing major." But they made him go through zoning twice, each time like 5-6 months. Nightmare. Let me tell you, city of Boston zoning.
you like, so I've been watching your Instagram stories. I know you like roll up and I know you're like right there, but I do think it's like a total different like arena of things. Like if I go to town hall over in Andover, I freaking know like every secretary. I know who's in the back. If I like raise my voice loud enough, they know who I am to where they're like, tell her I'm coming. Like they're just hiding in the back and we know. But it's different because like I had something similar where they're like, oh, we're going to squat, we're going to make a big stink out of this. You got to go through this and you need a 6 months and 5 to 6 months and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bitch, I have a front door with no fucking steps. Bitch, give me some steps. I'm going to make it the smallest fucking steps I could possibly fucking have. Fucker, give it to me. And they were like, okay. And so I think I like one day I had to like talk to the commissioner who's like 92 years old and pretty much dust at that point. And he was just like, I'm just focused on my health right now. And I was like, great, give me steps. And they were like, you fine, Suzanne, whatever, have some steps. And I was like, thank you. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. But also like, you know, what I'm asking for is, but I know those arguments where you're like, bro, it's a fucking pod. It's like iPod shuffle.
Yeah, and it wasn't for me. It was like another developer. But like is like, yeah, like you said, like if it's small towns, you can get away with it. Like I'm doing zoning for a client of mine in Revere, and you know it's an addition, so she's gonna have to go through zoning. She doesn't meet the setback, but like it's gonna be no big deal. She's gonna pass flying colors. My clients in Rosendale that passed their zoning today, they passed. It was no big deal because they're homeowners that just want to increase their space. They're not developers. They're not trying to build like no big deal. So like the small stuff you can get away with. But the problem is like Boston is incredibly incompetent. So like, for example, I submitted for a deck permit in East Boston probably about a year ago now. It took them 7 months to tell me I have to go through zoning. I'm there weekly. No, you don't have to go through zoning. No, you meet everything. No this, no that. This inspector leaves, a new inspector comes, it keeps getting transferred. Then they say, oh yeah, you have to go through zoning. I'm like, what do you mean I have to go through? Oh, your side yard is insufficient. I said, yeah, but there's already decks there. I'm just putting a rooftop deck. I'm just extending the stairs to get to the rooftop. It's there. It's existing. Nothing's changing. Yeah, you have to go through zoning. City of Boston, like, so it took 7 months just for them to tell us we have to go through zoning. Now we have a 5 to 6 month zoning process. So like city of Boston is just like a different animal, and they're tough. They're tough. Like homeowners, it doesn't matter. Like developments eventually go through most of them. They're basically saying yes to everything now, but the process is the problem. The process. Like I have like our project in Boston, like we almost went through a really bad situation over there, like a really, really, really bad situation. So we bought the building. The basement is finished. The basement is its own unit. The owner was living in the basement. It's a 3-family. So we go in, the basement's already finished. We're like, all right, we'll just use it for storage. What are we going to do with it? It's 3 individual units. It's really kind of crappy to make it its own unit. But then we had the idea, hey, let's divide this in half, and then let's just add stairs from the first floor. So then maybe the first floor will get like a basement, then the other half will be mechanical. Beautiful. And the basement's already finished. No big deal. But we're already in the permit process. City takes 7 months to give us the permit, just as is. Takes us 7 months to get the permit. Then we say, hey, we want to add the basement in there. Oh, no, you can't add the basement. You have to go through zoning. What do you mean I have to go through zoning? The basement's already finished. No, you have to go through zoning. You didn't say you wanted to use the basement. You said, yeah, we were going to use it for storage, but it's a finished basement. It's perfect. No, you have to go through whatever. So my attorney knows a state senator who sent over the best zoning attorney in Boston, apparently. The best zoning attorney apparently only wants to make money, let me tell you. He goes down to the city, talks to the head officials, head commission. I'll pull up his name from my email. I'll send it over to you because I don't remember. He wanted to charge an absurd amount of money too, because I sent him for my other clients. But anyway, so he goes down, he talks to the head of commissioner, talks to this person. Apparently, he goes and talks to the mayor's office to see what they can do. Nothing can be done. According to him, nothing can be done. I'm sweating bullets, let me tell you, because we don't have what the holding costs in this place $3,000 a week or more. So I don't have the time to go through 6, 7, whatever amount of time for zoning. Do not have, especially in Dorchester, when the neighbors are like a crap show and who knows who's going to make a problem with it. So we're sweating. Investors are sweating. Like, everyone's flipping their absolute crap. Like, let me tell you, flipping their absolute crap. Like, I was not sleeping. No one was sleeping over this project. And one day I was like literally like having a panic attack, and I was like, oh my God, Lord, what am I going to do? And I took all day. I almost took the day off, and like, just because like I was like making myself so physically sick over it, which obviously was a learning lesson. Like, nothing is ever that bad. I was not dying.
Yeah.
Even if a project loses money, a project loses money. It's not worth your physical health. But I was so stressed about it. And so I was like, you know what? No. Doug is much more level-headed than me, which is great because he evens me out. And so he's always like, okay, one step at a time. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to work. And I'm going to get something done. I pull every single building permit from like the city of Boston for the past 30 years. I found that this man went through zoning in 2003. Got denied, went in 2004, got zoning passed for this basement. Send it over to the attorney. Oh, no, that's not valid. What do you mean it's not valid? Oh, no, your permit is supposed to look like the way the permit, the B on the permit, it's supposed to look like that. I said, okay, well, permits don't look like that in 2003, 2004. I pulled every single permit record from 2003, 2004. This looks like every other permit. Let me tell you, what is wrong with this? Oh, no, it's not valid. It's not valid. And he goes, oh, no, I'm going to talk to the city. He talks to this, apparently, he talks to them. No, we can't resurrect it. What do you mean? You're not resurrecting anything. The permit was pulled. The zoning passed. There's nothing to resurrect. It's legal. Oh, no, it can't be done. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the city. Because I didn't want to get involved at that point, because I was like, oh, he's talking to them. Let me not go in the middle and break up the conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to the plans examiner, Cheryl Oden. Let me tell you, she was so sick of our project by the end of it. She was like, just get out of my face.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, let me go. Let me try and catch her and see what's up. So I go to her. I print out all my paperwork. I said, hi, Cheryl, how are you? She goes, oh, you're here for Ken Burma again. I was like, yes, ma'am, I am. Here I am for you. And then I was like, oh, like, we were talking about the basement last time. And, I have the paperwork here for you that we passed zoning and we're all set. And so I slide my documents over to her. She looks at it. She goes, okay, let me take a look at this. She goes to the back. She goes, do you know if you ever had a certificate of occupancy? And I said, oh, I'm not sure. She goes, okay. Flips through, comes back. She goes, thank you for your research. This looks great. You know, I'm just gonna, I just need to confirm that your sprinkler plans, your fire alarm, like all lined up, but this looks great. Thank you very much. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got, like, that's how incompetent. This is a long story, Mark, to say how incompetent the city of Austin is.
Yeah.
But they almost made us go through zoning for this. And let me tell you, like, I would have freaked the F out because Jesus Christ. Like, I'm shaking thinking about it because I'm so, like, I'm traumatically upset with the experience. Thank God we didn't have to go through zoning for that.
You know what's crazy is I would love for somebody to have some sort of podcast where they just interview somebody. I don't think they would ever tell the truth of like, why the fuck would you be this dumb? Because it's literally like, hey, this is green. Say that it's green. And they're like, no, I can't. And you're just like, are you fucking like, I can't. It's like government gaslighting is next level crazy shit. And you're like, bro, you're paid to fucking do this. So could you please, I don't want to be here. You don't want to see me. I will make you fucking sick of me, bitch. I will be here every goddamn day. So like the sooner you get this done, the sooner we can just be in a sane reality.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know why they do that, but I would love to know.
They had the records of this. That's what's crazy. Like, if I found it online, they had these records. They could have just pulled it up. Like, they just are just so incompetent or so.
I feel like the attorney just didn't do anything about it or something. Because, like, I don't know. That should be common knowledge for a zoning attorney. Like,
His
if
name
they're
is Derek Small. I'm exposing him right now.
His name is Derek Small.
Yes.
Tells me everything I need to know.
His name
Isn't the nickname for Derek Dick?
Richard.
Richard is Dick, but I also feel like I knew a guy who was named Derek, but he was like, call me Dick. And I was like, not happening. But like Dick Small or Small Dick, yeah, good. You know what's interesting? The only thing that I think that could be a thing is I feel like when you're in Boston, you have so many people with so much money and so much fucking time, you know, that they will drive you fucking nuts. You're going to go to these zoning boards. You're going to have all these like, if you think the political climate is crazy now, just it's like Facebook on steroids plus meth. I don't know. But yeah, so I can imagine like the only thing I don't think they're incompetent. They have access to everything. They're probably pulling it out and they're like, if I fucking approve this and so finds out, or this person finds out, it's going to be up my mother effing A. So that's the only thing I can think of. But even then, it's not a reason to stay. No, when your job is like, we made all these fucking rules. You made the rules that I am following. Just say that I'm following the fucking rules like everybody with eyes can see.
Yeah. Well, the neighbor right next door has bragged multiple times about how he was the reason why our project took 7 months to get approved. Because guess who works at the mayor's office?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Guess who works at the mayor's office? And he said, yeah, I shut you guys down. Said it multiple times to us.
Whoa.
And he has gotten a lot of work done at his property with 0 permits.
Sounds like to be expected.
Yeah, it's the type of thing that like you learn the importance of, and we are so nice. Like we cleaned up that whole street, but like it's the importance of don't make enemies with your neighbors, which we did nothing to make enemies. He was just a petty man with a crappy house and too much time on his hands, apparently, and power hungry. But it's like that thing of like, don't screw with your neighbors.
I really hope I never run into somebody like that. Like, I think that's also why I'm spoiled in Andover. Like, I know all my neighbors. Like the first thing I do is I made these little business cards. I make them for the old people just because I feel like old people have business cards and I felt like such a jerk that they would give me one. And I'd be like, I'm on the internet, just search for me. Like, what a jerk. So I made it. I put Rupert's picture on it. And then when I go to buy a house, the first thing I do is I go to all the neighbors and I say hello. And I always tell them like, whatever, falling on your sword, where I'm like, listen, you call me if you don't like something. If somebody parks on your lawn, if somebody's smoking and they're throwing butts in your, whatever, who's ever pissing you off, you call me first and I'll take good care of it. And so like one of the neighbors that I have, which thank God I made friends with, and the reason why I could also make friends with is I hired somebody he works with like on the side. I hired him for another job and he and I have a great relationship. And so he put in a good word for me, but I pay this man in cookies to use his driveway. So every month I bring him like a new flavor of the month. And I leave him cookies, and he's been nothing but like super sweet to me. He could totally be a dick, like next door neighbor, but I kiss them on their butthole. I'm very good to them. You be good to me, I'll be good to you, but like I'm a nice person. Don't make me be mean, because you don't want this. I'm crazy. So yeah,
We
I'm
do
sorry
this.
that happened.
No, we did like the East Boston project. We got all the neighbors together. We got our masonry guy to do us a whole it's a private way. We got him to do a whole brand new private way that was like disgusting gravel. The neighbors loved us because we bought a hoarder house that was disgusting. They were
Yeah.
throwing out food on the streets, rats running everywhere. We got all the neighbors together, did a whole brand new private way. Like, we love making friends with neighbors, like, because, you know, there's no need to, and we say the same thing, like, hey, if something goes wrong, give me a call.
Yeah.
Like, always.
Did you tell them Joe next door is being a little fuckface? Did you tell them?
The city of
I would have found the chattiest lady, and I would have been like, oh, I'm having a hard day.
not what the
I was
city
being an asshole.
like, they'll deny it. They'll never, like, they had such like and we're there all the time too, but like the thing is, their employees, they change over a lot. They have a lot of turnover, and they just see a lot of people too. And so yeah, I don't know, it's tough. Like my deck project, this is the third time I've had a new plans examiner now, like looking at it. So yeah, small towns are better, but also they're more paperwork and they're less technology. So like Revere is all like physically filling out all these zoning applications, and so that's kind of annoying instead of just typing.
Is Revere like expensive? Like what's like a 3-family, 4-family, or not 3-family, but 4-bed, 3-bed, 4-bed going for in Revere? Like what's average ARV?
You said single family or 3-family?
Single family, 3-bed.
Gosh, I think it's like 700 or 800. I know in Everett, because I own properties in Everett, and Everett's right next door. I know I have a single family with a basement unit in it, and that one's worth like 800 or 850.
So they're like a richer town. Like, so Andover, we did 825 for the 3-bed, but then again, it's a full gut with like closed cell foam in the walls, blah, 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 right? All those things, but we have internet stuff. You go in person, but I don't know. I was just thinking like if it was like a cheaper town or like cheaper taxes or like lower property, whatever, that maybe they don't have enough of a budget to like put things online, because I feel everybody's trending to go to the internet anyway. Like nobody wants to answer those stupid calls of like, what's my permit number and what date? Bitch, figure it out. You have access to a phone, which is a mini computer. Figure it out. So
did they let you pull your own building permit in Andover?
No.
Because your property's under an LLC, right? So you couldn't do the home section.
Yeah, unless I lived there, and they're like, Suzanne, and I'm like, you don't know me. But yeah, which is fine, because the first time I met them is I hired a GC. I thought I hired a GC because I signed his document, and I'm waiting for an invoice. And then I told him, I was like, listen, framing is done. We were just doing one beam. So I was like, framing is done, call for the inspection. And he goes, I never submitted. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? So we got in trouble big time at that point. And then I tried to explain the situation. My next GC got a flag on his fine. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, it is what it is. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And so I've had lots of conversations with this guy. So I'm not trying to poo-poo the relationship. But yeah, like that's the other thing is I'm up here in the North Shore. My personal living, I was supposed to renovate this house, but then didn't, because the money I had set aside, I ended up spending on a project I did with a friend who never reimbursed me. So then all my money went out the window. And this year I want to be able to have a better living situation, which either means building something here or buying something new and doing something with that. Because this is a foundation problem, and it's going to be a big fucking undertaking. But anyway, so one of the things that is hard for me to do now going forward is I'm really spoiled by the contractor group that I have. I don't think you've ever used it, right? Or have you?
I'm in several contractor groups. Which one is yours?
Contractors Help Contractors, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. There's like 16,000 people.
I'm in it, I think.
Yeah. So I post a job and I'll make it very easy. It'll just be one line item. I need hydro seed. And I get like 30 people that'll write me 10 different quotes, very easy to figure out who I'm going to move forward with, how you talk to me, what your invoice looks like, what questions you ask me. Like, I just know. If I adopted that group from a girl who like created it, that it grew out into something else. And she's like, I fucking don't want it. And I was like, well, I'm bored. Give it to me. If I go back to Rhode Island, I don't know that I'm going to have that. I'm just being a little wiener is what I'm being, but I'm spoiled up here. And so that's the other part that I think about is like, I want to move closer down to Rhode Island because my parents are there. And I don't really know what I'm doing up here in North Shore, but at the same time, I'm so effing spoiled in that one. It just, I'm being cushy. I'm being soft is what
But
I'm
New
being.
Hampshire should be even like I'm sure plenty of guys would go up to New. It's not that far away where you are.
Yeah.
Like I know most people would go up there at least like if you get the cheaper subs and immigrants and just vet them. Like I'm sure they'll go up there still.
So I got a bunch of people from a Brazilian church in Revere, and they're wonderful. And they're super good to me. They work all hours of the day. Like I want to do one more project just to kind of see like where they're at. But yeah, so I'm not really sure what I'm doing exactly this year because I have like personal goals. Like I'm old and I need to freeze eggs. I don't know how your like family planning is going, but I'm there. I'm the biological clock girl, which is not fun. So I'm trying to be
Can't do that.
can't
Not
do
a good
what?
look.
I
Not a good
know,
look.
I know.
Not a good look.
I got to a point where I was like, oh my God, I'm in the 90s movies, they always made fun of the girls that were like, I have daddy issues to a point where I'm like, oh my God, I think that's me. And then I'm the biological clock girl. I'm all the things you don't want to be. That's what I am now. And so that's why part of me is like, I need to fix my personal problems because I feel like business wise, I call real estate the ATM. Whenever I need money, I just go do another project. But then it's like 3-4 months out. And then one of the weird things about this last project that I did that I was a little bit concerned about was dying a lot. I thought about that a lot because I said, if I die, all the private lenders that I have, how would they get paid out? How are my contractors going to get paid out? Like nobody knows what I'm doing but me. There is no business. It's just my chaos. And so I thought a lot about like, when the whole Z thing happened, I was like, I'm gonna do it the way that it should be done, blah, blah, blah. And then when I was doing this one, I was like, well, technically I'm not doing it the way that it should be done because if it was done right, like my private money lenders should have nothing to worry about. And I had one of them who was like my ex-boyfriend. And I was like, my brother and sister are fine because they know who I am and all the text messages are there. But for somebody who's not my family, if they ever had to like come after my estate, like I wouldn't, I'm already grateful that you allowed me to borrow money. I wouldn't want you to have any problem getting it back. And so I was like, I'm not sure what's supposed to happen if I die. I mean, technically I know kind of deal, but also like, if you die, there's no blueprint as to like, do this, do that, and take care of Rupert this way, and like make sure all these are paid and the bank account is in this name. Like,
yeah.
So anyway.
Doug and I have been talking about like, not about death, but about like, we're figuring out like, okay, like everything has to be like, we own 2 properties that are under our personal names. And then the other ones are all under LLCs and stuff. But the that are under our personal names, they're under conventional loans. And we're like, okay, we got to get these transferred to a trust or an LLC. And then we were talking to a landlord friend of ours that we know. And we were talking about trusts and like, we're in that process of like, okay, we have to like figure this crap out. Not like necessarily for death, but because like if you do a certain amount of real estate deals and a certain amount of flips, like someone's going to come after you eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about like we do construction too. So like it's just about like asset protection. And like he said, okay, so like he owns different trusts and each trust have different trustees. And like, talking about all these like layers of protection. I know some people do trusts in like Wyoming. So like we're like, okay, we have to like be on a path to like start figuring all this crap out.
So the person who helped me with my Wyoming trust is from sub 2. Are you sub 2? No, Andrew is though. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a cult, but there are some nice people in the cult that I'm friends with. Okay. It just is what it is. Back in the day, we were a little bit cuter. Nowadays, it's just fucking chaos. And that's fine because there's still good people in the mix. I'm just too tired to find out who they are. My lender is one of the OGs and he's so sweet to me. And so he'll tell me things on the side all the time. But I would say that if you have some sort of accountant.
Yeah.
you have an attorney, like all these people that you work with kind of are shareholders in your economy. Like your whole ecosystem pays them because you don't fuck with anybody but Jim. Okay, Jim. So
Yeah.
Jim, when you get a resource, or Jim, if you want to help me be great, bitch, be a better friend to me, which is a great topic because I've been thinking a lot about this week where I'm like, I'm reviewing some of my friendships where I'm like, I feel like I've been a really good friend to other people, but I don't know that they've been good friends to me. And I'm trying to figure out where that lies because I'm not a transactional person, but I think about that often where I'm like, I want you to watch my ass and I want to watch your ass too. That sounds terrible, but you know what I mean. So yeah, anyway, the
And
lender
also,
that I
on your level. Doug and I realized that when we had a question and we're like, about collecting money from tenants. And we're like, okay, who can we call and ask? And we sat in our car and we're like, we have no friends who are landlords. And I was like, how do we not know any friend? Like we have friends who are contractors. I was like, how do we not know any landlords we can call up and ask? And we eventually managed to find.
You're active on Instagram though. Like I see all your stuff all the time to where I'm like, I know exactly where she is. I don't even have to like iPhone track your location. But why don't you ask your group, like, what landlords do I know? Because I think you'd also be surprised, like, unless you're doing something like this where it's like, spill your beans, like, what the fuck are you up to? I'm not able to spy in on you. Just you tell me the things that you want me to know about what you got going on. Unless you ask people, some people have other lives that you just don't know about. I would challenge you to put it on Instagram and just be like, listen, I know somebody who's a landlord. Like, where are you? I need help. Also, you went to the meetup. What was it? New Western. How was it?
That was actually really good.
Good. Why?
I did not want to go. Doug forced me to go because I did not want to go because this is much better. Like I'm in my house. Judy's here begging me for attention. Like I like this.
Yeah.
No, we have to go and whatever. And so we went. We dragged Andrew along too because they're like, hey, and we dragged.
You didn't drag him. That boy, it's probably his idea. I know that man's energy. He helped me make balloons at my event. That's him.
I like him, but he still has that like young, dumb 22-year-old energy.
You leverage that because sometimes that's good. You make him be your meat shield where you're like, go off into the wilderness and then bring me somebody interesting, and he will.
Exactly. No, yeah, that's the thing. Like you do have to capitalize on like the young energy. He has a lot more energy than we do sometimes, and he's like super motivated, which is good. So we went and then we brought Jen is Doug's cousin. She works for Onyx Marble and Granite. Amazing stone people. She can get you like anywhere from 15 to 20% off like all of your stones all the time. And she'll like she does really good stuff. I can send you her contact too if you'd like. And I don't say that because she's his cousin, because business is business, and if she wasn't good, I wouldn't use her. But we
hold that thought. I'm gonna make a resource sheet because I'm in the same boat as you where honestly, I think one of the reasons why like I don't date or I have a hard time dating is I feel like every contractor, I'm fucking dating all my contractors and I'm getting disappointed left and right. And then so sometimes it works out, but I'm just fucking tired at the end of the day of like having to be like, this is gonna work out and be great. And then it just fucking whatever not. But I have a resource sheet that I want to make of like just good solid people to work with, and then I have tiers, so where it's like a good person, a preferred person, and then you have your all-stars, which I call frog kings. But I will make that next.
Yeah. I have a whole vendor, we keep active vendor lists on our book of like everyone we've worked with and notes and things like that, or at least we try to. But you know what it is, for just a side note on like why you can't find good contractors, is because just flat out contractors don't like flippers. Like that's just how it is. Like contractors do not like flip projects. We no longer take on flip projects for other people. The budget is too tight. Like there's no money in it. There's no money in it. It's high pressure. It's fast situation. And unless you're doing it for yourself, most of the time it's not worth it. Most of the time you have to GC it yourself, and you find someone that will pull your permit and will show up to your inspections and will double check your work. But then you could find all the subs by yourself.
So I do exactly that. How much are you paying for your permit? I mean, you're in Boston, your stuff is expensive, but I pay $2,500 right now to just to have somebody pull the permit. Yeah.
Oh, well, we have like my project managers all have like CSL licenses and stuff like that. So like they do it as part of their work. So
Got it.
I don't pay like it's because we own the construction company, right? So I have to do it for clients and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean that's not bad, 2,500. Because the thing is like I used to know people that would do it for like 500, 700, but like prices have gone up. And honestly, like if something goes wrong on your job site, it's their license on the line.
Yeah.
It's their insurance on the line, and like it's not
So
bad.
I pay the permit fee separately. So whatever the permit fee is, I pay that separately. And
Yeah.
then just for the insurance, I pay the 2,500 plus that shit that they fill out. So yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's not bad too because like the thing is technically as a GC, like if a GC pulled your permit, by technicality, he is supposed to be on the job site all day. He is supposed to be on the job site every time someone's working. He's supposed to be there technically.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like his license, if anything happens, like let's say your framers screw up whatever, and there's some kind of issue with the city, it's his license on the line.
Got it.
So it's just for the liability of it. Like I don't think I would ever do it for other people because the thing is like what if something happens and like it happens to someone's license that's underneath me and like all of a sudden they're in a really bad situation and they're screwed because like you just don't know, like especially like let's say you had someone pull a permit for you, but they have no idea who's the framer, they have no idea who's doing the work, if they do good work or not, and before the city it's their name on the line. I don't know, that's me. I've heard too many horror stories about permits.
Mine knows how anal retentive I am, and he has fucking access to everything. He's on a group chat with everybody. So like he loves to complain to me. That's his number one thing about like being very moody and complaining. But like I make sure that he has like nothing, there's no mystery about anything. And if there's somebody where he's like, absolutely not, then the answer is, I'm not trying to piss him off. Fine, goodbye. I will find somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not bad. But that's the reason why like contractor, like if you were gonna hire a contractor that would do all the work, it's just hard because the profit's not there. There's not enough profit in a flip for a GC and a flipper.
So the way that I do it to make them say yes to me is I make sure that all the material I pay for, which I'm not a total fan of because some of these subs don't use product wisely and then order too much bullshit or are really wasteful and I want to punch them in the face. Like my roofer, fucking like a minefield of just nails fucking everywhere. And I'm pretty sure 2 people had to get their tires redone because of his dumb ass. But for the ones that work well with me, I make sure everything is paid for, everything is delivered on site. You don't have to go pick up shit. Whatever you want, give me the list. I'll make sure it's arrived for you. All you have to do is show up for work. And the way that I calculate it out is I say, as long as you work for me, as long as you show up and you do work, I want to make sure that you make about $100,000 a year. So workers that are, so for like my GC makes about $100,000 period with me. Meaning like, I think his labor rate at a minimum is that. So like, he doesn't have to pay too much. Like I give him like a 10% bonus on top of everything to cover like overhead and gas and transportation and whatever else. But technically I also pay $2,500 for your GC license fee, whatever. 10% for like all overhead stuff that I don't know about. And then your labor rate, you working on site, you make $100,000 with me. And then his workers, I think, make about $50,000, but they're like, he runs the whole thing. He runs the show. He makes all the decisions and blah, blah, blah. So I told him, I said, listen, you can either go out there and shop for your own jobs, argue with homeowners, manage their emotions, negotiate whatever, where you just show up and you work, you don't spend your money and you get paid every single week cash. So that's how I do it with them to make it a little bit easier for them. Yeah.
No, but do you give him enough work for him to be busy all year round?
Not all year round. So that's the thing that I told him is this last project I did with him, I gave him like 9 months worth of stuff to do. And then I always told him like, if he had to go do another job, I was like, I'm fine with you leaving and like having to go take care of stuff. If you want to take on something more, if you want to work on the weekends, like I'll give you all those things. So yeah. So it's kind of like a happy balance of like, you come work, like a bulk of your majority of work, come work for me. You don't have to shut your mind off, boss around your one worker. And then like all the things I pay for on my own. So you don't have to worry about it. Don't have to lift nothing. It's just there. You don't have to run around like a crackhead trying to get stuff. And all the subs, I take care of all the subs. So I like GC everything. You're just like a fancy on the job site person, boss around people.
So how do you calculate that $100,000? Like, do you like say like, okay, if you were to make $100,000 a year, would be your hourly rate, and every time you
Yes.
job, you're making an hourly rate?
Yes. So I think he makes like 400 with me, maybe more, 400 a day with me. And then his worker makes about 200 a day. Yeah. And when we did out the math on that, his worker's making about 50,000 a year, whatever the rate was for 50,000, which I think is like, if it's 50,000, then he's making about $25 an hour. And if he's 100,000, then he's making about $50 an hour. And then again, on top of all that, I put an extra 10% for gas and driving around his worker or whatever silly, taking out the trash. Not that he does that, but you know, whatever small errands that he's running. I forgot something, he doesn't like it, something broke, whatever, 10% on top of that. And then again, I also pay for the license as a separate thing too. But I told him, I said, listen, you don't have to think, just show up and work. And I'll take care of everything else. Or you go try to do everything on your own and make that fee with that, you know, homeowner that you have maybe one job with.
But do you make enough profit on your job to pay him that?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. If you're
Yeah.
making enough profit and he's winning, like that's a good deal for him.
So my profit on this one, I think, is about 65,000. And I was at the point where I almost walked away from the house making nothing on it at all because I'm an emotional potato and I had my girlfriend list the house and I was like, okay. And I loved my buyer. I will never do that again. I'm always going to not be at the open house. If I meet somebody, I fall in love with them and I'm like, here, take everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm Asian Oprah and you can have the world. So I need to not do that. And yeah.
No, that's good. Oh, that. I mean, like flips are complicated. If you're in the green and you learned lessons, then it was worth it. No matter what, if you made $5 and you learned like valuable lessons, then it was worth that $5. Whatever it was.
I lost 5,000 on one and I was like, great. I fucking learned a lot on it. So I'm in the same boat where I'm like, I want to learn. I want to have enough experience underneath my belt so that like I'm not scared of it. Because that's another thing for me is when I first did it, I was scared of it. I'm single, so I don't have to really split my profit with anybody. Obviously, if I'm partnered, that's something else to consider. But yeah, so it's been, and I get to work at my own pace. I don't have to negotiate. Like every decision I make is mine, and the person I have to fight with is me, and I'm constantly with me. So like I'm constantly working.
Yeah.
But no, like for the most part, I think for me the aim is usually like about 10% ARV. This house was different because I call it my testimony house, so it was a different speed, but I think the general rule of thumb is about 10% of ARV is what your profit should be. And if it's not, then you're not buying it right, or you're not spending your money well enough that you're hitting that numbers. And I know another thing for me is I fucking took 9 months to do this one. It didn't have to be that long. I spent about 6,000 in interest every single month. So had I been better, I could have made more for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like we said, like everyone is a learning lesson. Like and every sub is different too, right? Like we keep Rolodexes of subcontractors and people because someone could be great today, tomorrow they're a nightmare. Like I have an amazing HVAC guy, cheap, does good work, great guy to work with. But let me tell you, every time he gets back with his ex-wife, crap hits the fan.
I'm in that same boat right now, and I hate it. And I hate it.
Yeah, let me tell you.
What's his ethnicity? Say Puerto Rican right now.
No, he's Brazilian.
Fucking A.
I think we basically only work with Brazilians, not out of prejudice, but just because it happens to be that way.
No, they're amazing. They work. They're honest. They work really hard. Like they
very clean.
want it. They're the hungriest. Yeah.
They're clean, they're hungry, and like it just ends up like since all of our subs are Brazilian, it just works out. It's easier. Like they all talk with it. They all talk together. They all can communicate, and most of them speak Spanish too. So it's like they get it done. But our roofers are Spanish. I think the roofers that we use most often are Spanish.
Do you do anything for your subs? Like, do you take them to dinner? Do you give them bonuses? Do you like buy them tools? Christmas time? Did you give them gifts?
So some yes, some no. It depends on who it is and what's the situation. So like our tile guy, we have 2 tile guys that we use most often because we used to do it all in-house. So we used to have 25 employees, and we used to have a payroll of $30,000 per week. Let me tell you, I will never go back to that stress. We fired everyone. We got rid of everyone halfway through last year because we were like, I cannot handle that stress. Like having to have $30,000 for payroll every single week.
Yeah.
That is a nightmare. So the tile guy that we use most often has been like hitting us up, wanting work. Somehow made friends with Doug. I don't know how he wormed his way into the Christmas party. And so we ended up buying him dinner, shows up to the Christmas party. Like all of our, like the plumbers, electricians, all of them, like they just have ended up being friends at this point. And like we take them to dinner. They show up at the office, like, you know, hang out with them. The smaller subs, less so, because it's also like carpentry, we're constantly shifting, because we typically keep like one carpenter always in-house on staff or two. One of mine actually was picked up by ICE 2.5 months ago, has been in prison in New Mexico for 2.5 months now. That was really tough because he was actually a friend and a tenant and worked for us. So that was like, that's a tough situation. But anyway, so yeah, they always end up doing something. You're getting at least all the long-term subs, like we work really well with, like electrician have been working with for years. HVAC has been a while. HVAC has been over a year now. Plumbing has been over a year. Tile, we use the same 2 guys now for a couple of years. Painters shift, but we always end up knowing someone. And so like they get treated well. So like, yeah, the thing is we give them, because we're contractors, we give everyone enough work that they end up being happy regardless, because like we're always filling their schedules.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing. I think even with my guy, like one of them wrote me on the side in like Google text or whatever. He's like, I just got let go. There wasn't enough work. Please something. And I'm like, I will make it up for you. Do you want to massage I'm kidding. Do you want to massage my feet? But like, I will find things for you to do because I know what that's like, not having access to money and then even a language barrier on top of that. And yeah. So providing enough work, I think is crucial. Yeah.
That's the biggest, and that's what my dad said, that was the hardest part of him as a flipper, is like, he was like, my hardest part is like getting subs to show up on time and like be efficient with their schedules.
Yeah.
And like making sure that they're doing what they have to do, because he's like, I was never able, because my dad would only do 1 or 2 houses at a time. So he's like, I was never able to give them enough work for me to be, let's call it, the prettiest girl at the ball. Like I could never be the prettiest girl at the ball because I could never give them enough work.
Right.
But like these guys, like for the most part, we give them a good amount of work that they're happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that'll shift if we start moving to like only development. But the thing is, like today, like we had an investor stop by our Boston project, and just for us to like hype up the tile guy. So like if we're not giving him work, like we'll invite other investors and other people there to like see his work and then send him people that will give him work.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. You ready to flip, Marcus? Let's do the townhouse.
Yeah, working on it.
You'll be fine. All right, Greg, come back here for a second, Greg. Again, so Rachel, you jumped on a little bit later. A long time ago, I keep saying this story, I'll just publish it at one point. A long time ago, we used to do accountability, but accountability was simply, what did you do this last week? What did you do this last week? Highlights, lowlights. If it's a low light, then what fucking lesson did you learn? Or what did you learn? Tell all of us so we can learn with you that you will never do again or do differently. And then the second thing we try to do is figure out what you want to do this upcoming week. What are some things that you want to attempt? Maybe it's a little bit harder or whatever the case may be, but to hold you accountable this upcoming week, what's going to happen next. So, and I usually try to keep it within a fixed amount of time because we could talk forever about all of this stuff. But seeing that there's 30 minutes left, right? I didn't do a good job of holding the framework tonight, so my apologies. But for the upcoming week, what are the things that you want to be doing this upcoming week that might be different than this last week? Might be something you want to push yourself to doing, talking to new people, trying something different. something that you've been needing to do but holding off. What do you want to conquer this week?
Me?
Yeah, let's do you first, Greg.
Oh, okay. This week, I need to renew my fishing license, so that's something that I need to get done. I need to get these people up to speed in Dallas. I need to get them to sign this contract. I got to see if Kinley reached out and called them to lace them up, or if I need to do it myself. I think we've already sent it out, so we're just waiting on them to sign it through DocuSign.
Is
I
this
took
one of your 6-figure deals?
No, this is just consultation for just getting the lien removed, but it's a consultation fee.
Did
So
you say I'm skinning the lemur moo? That's what I heard.
no, I'm not skinning the lemur move.
What'd you
Oh,
say? I
I have
am?
I don't even remember, honestly.
Getting removed.
Getting a lien removed, yeah.
Getting a
a
lien
lien
removed.
removed. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Sorry
love
about that.
No, it's me. Plus your accent.
Yeah, sure.
In a month,
Yeah.
maybe 2, I'm going to have hearing aids and I'm going to be a whole new person and it's going to be amazing. I can hear your inner thoughts at this point, but you're getting a lien removed, fishing license.
Yes.
What else? What are you
Um,
looking forward to this week? What's something where you're like, what's a big mountain for you to hike, big mountain for you to overcome, or something you're really excited about this week?
the cat house on Spanish Oak. I need to pull the
Oh, yeah.
permits for that. So I've been holding that off, but I really got to get that done. I found the probate for that, but now I need to track down the trust documents. The attorney that filled them out is old as worm shit. So
He probably is worm shit at this point.
he's still alive. I skip traced him, had a discussion with him. I have a meeting with him. So I need to get the trust documents to the title company. And then I got to get with the attorney on the seller side for the litigation that we're having for the deal in Brookshire. I got all the paperwork at the courthouse yesterday, and I got that over to him so we can kind of come up with the game plan. And what else? The flip on Antelope got painted. The stupid fucking painters they didn't prep correctly, so they got a lot of overspray. They need to go clean, and they're over there crying for fucking money. And I told them I'm not paying them till it gets cleaned up. So they don't like that. Now I'm gonna take time out of their whole day that they didn't plan on to clean it up. So guess it's my fault. I don't know. That's about it. Oh yeah, and I got to get my stolen car. Uh, I got to do the what is it, the registration sticker? I got to go get another registration sticker for it. So it came back to me.
Let me rephrase it this way, because you have a very exciting week coming up. If I was to ask you, I like that expression 1% better, right? What
Yes.
are you doing this week that's going to make you 1% better?
I'm gonna be more consistent.
Yeah. How do you define more consistent?
I need to be more consistent and relaxing because I've been going and going and going, and I just
Yeah.
need to chill because I went out of town for 10 days, then I came back and just kept working and just haven't had a break, honestly. I just want a day to chill.
I thought you said you feel really good today, that you
I did
finally were able to catch up on sleep.
I did, but I woke up today. I had half a day. It was this morning, and the only reason I didn't do anything is because I had to go to Salado to pick up my medication from the pharmacy, and I stopped and ate. But I really just want to take a step back and just take a breath and then, go back in. But I got too much stuff to do. Hopefully this weekend's looking great for me, and I can use that time to go do something that I really want to do.
Fishing?
Yes, that's absolutely what I want to go do.
Nice.
You caught me.
Good. I was just thinking crawfish. How you catch crawfish, with the net or with like a bucket?
When I was a child, so there's little crawfish holes. We used to
Okay.
get Oscar Mayer wieners and cut them up and put string on them and then get them out and then catch them with the net. But if you use like a lake, you gotta have like a rice field or like a ditch close to a rice field or something like that, like out in the country. And then you can use the seine net and you can just run the seine net across the bottom and you can catch a lot that way. But the easiest way is to go to HEB
I
and
feel
buy a
like
set.
that's feeding in like the hunter whatever you call that, into the hunter's creed. I feel like that's cheating. That's like a dragnet or whatever, like commercial fishermen.
It'd be like a clam rake, like a
I think catching things one at a time is very noble versus, shooting fish in a bucket, essentially, or like whatever that mass fishing thing that is. You put a big fucking net over it and just kill everything. Not that.
My brother was hunting in the woods with his friends once, and they all bet him like a lot of money that he couldn't kill a deer with a spear, and he chunked the spear and killed a deer with it. That's how he got his deer. That is the funniest story.
I saw
Speaking of,
I saw a deer on Instagram the other day that like had a crossbow through its skull and like out its eye, didn't die, and then somebody with a gun got it and then put their skull up. The skull was pretty awesome. I'll find it. I'll send it to you. It looked interesting.
that's insane.
wild.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
as far as consistency goes, that's what I got. I believe I could go on forever, but I think I
So
just need
you
to take a
want
chill
so you
pill.
want to be more consistent this week so that your overall performance is good because you do have a heavy week. Being consistent means work-life balance to a certain extent, or making sure that you're taking good care of yourself so that you're in peak performance, or that you're in a better place to be performing. And that means taking some time to fish this weekend.
Yes, if I can get around to it.
I love it. Marcus, instead of moving the same mountain every single day,
It's the
what are
only
you
mountain
gonna?
it's what I have to do right now. It's literally what I have to focus on. That's it. Leads,
Okay.
offers, deals. That's
If
what
I
I gotta
was to
do.
ask you what could make you 1% better this week, or what's something new you could try this week that might increase your output, increase your results, or what's something that you could be
It's getting
doing
other
better?
people involved, but that's gonna take time away from me doing what I do best, which is doing the damn thing that I gotta do.
I
I'm just
feel
not
like
there
you should
yet.
ask me for the townhouse lady. I feel like that's what's happening right now.
No, I'll let you know if I need it. I'm having Devin cold call her tomorrow, and her answer to that will be
Okay,
everything.
okay, okay.
I just need to be. I also need to be more consistent. I've been slow on like new leads in the past probably couple of weeks. Squat up and whatnot. Um, so I do need to be more consistent. But I have some good leads. Good appoint. I have one good appointment. I have two appointments this week, but one good one.
How can we help you, or what can you do to be more consistent this week?
I just need to sit down and do it.
So
Uh,
how do we get you to sit down and do it?
Nothing really you guys can do. It's just I need to get after it. Yeah.
What about setting alarms? Do you time block right now?
Generally, I have blocks of time where I do things. Is
You
it
are like
like
so like an octopus right now. Yeah. If I give you something, you're like, well, I'm gonna do this instead. And then I'm like,
I I have a workflow that I follow, yeah,
okay.
which is based off blocks of time, so which I do things.
Do you
Um,
block it on your calendar? Do you have
I
alarms
had
that go?
it I had it all blocked and then I took it off because it's fucking annoying. It gets in
Yeah.
my calendar. I'm like, I'm doing the same thing every day at the same times. I got it. Like, check.
What about
Um,
in the past? Because this is not your first rodeo. You've been at this for 5+ years, possibly. In the past, when you were forcing yourself to be more consistent, what worked for you in the past?
I mean, really, it's just knowing that I have deals that are out there that I can get, and I was more consistent. But it's like because I've been so consistent for so long, it's like I'm like not as doing as much as I should, which is funny because now it's for myself when it was before for another company that I gave everything to for like those years. So it's just like in order to avoid burnout from I've been there and burnout very often. And so like I'm trying to avoid that. So I'm just working less. The answer would be either A, work more, or B, get somebody to do the work for the hours that I don't want to do. But real answer for that is it's going to take me away from actually doing the work that I want. After I close these deals, I'll talk about getting somebody in there. I'll probably get another dialer license. I have a couple people who quote unquote want to make some calls, but it's going to be few and far between. It's going to be random. It's going to be a couple 50 calls here on Tuesday and 10 on whatever. So it's going to be one of those.
What does burnout look like for you in the past? Because you seem to be running away from burnout. What did burnout look like for you in the past? What are you running from, is what I'm asking.
I'm pacing myself, I would call it. I'm not running from anything, I'm pacing myself.
But you're also trying to avoid burnout. So I'm asking you, what does burnout look like for you?
Like, how does it feel, or what are the actions that cause it, or
However you want to describe it, what does burnout look like for you? What's your definition of burning out? How does Mark burn out?
by doing all the work that I literally have to do. Cold calling people, getting leads, following up with leads, dealing with current deal issues, dealing with potential deal issues,
But
trying to get
that's you working.
right.
What does burnout look like?
Me working a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the feeling then?
Just like stress, like there's nonstop and it's all just, yeah, you know, it's like overwhelming. It's anxiety. It's like, I don't want to fucking wake up and cold call sellers on probate list. That's not what I would be doing with my time if like I didn't have to worry about money, but it's a necessity. I'm bootstrapping myself until I get a couple of these deals closed and can reinvest back in and bring in some sort of hire, whatever that looks like. But that's just like what I told myself I'm going to do. I think I would like to do SEO maybe after I close some of these deals, and maybe look at like 6 to 8 months of what that would look like. So I don't have to cold call, because cold calling and the bullshit, that's the burnout. So getting around that would be having inbound leads, but
How
inbound leads that
about,
I can control.
so
Not control, but
your current lead channel right now is you make calls from lists that are you buy or get it from Devin. Your other lead channel was your wholesaler, your baby wholesaler group.
yeah, there's no real leads coming out of that. I mean, there's only a couple people. I'm only having like 1 or 2 people in each week in the Zoom. It needs to snowball. But
Okay.
like that's a down the road thing.
Okay. And then, so you just want to work until you die. Good stuff.
Well,
No,
maybe my input might be helpful here. I'll say,
get.
like, because like I said, like we fired everyone mid last year because Doug and I were incredibly burned out, and like I think we're still recovering because we were so badly burned out. Like burned out, let me tell you, like at our wits end. Like, and it looks like something totally different for me, and it looked different for Doug because we're different people and we process things really differently. And so, like, something I've learned over time is like what has burned me out more than everything has been dealing with all of the money and the financials more than anything. Like, and I think finding that and targeting that and seeing, like, okay, I freaking hate dealing with projects, budgets, and receipts more than freaking anything. I
Oh
swear.
yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to see another receipt in my entire life. But then, like realizing that and like realizing, okay, like my goal has to be, I have to find whatever it looks like. I swear, I literally was at a point like I don't care if I make a dime of money, but I do not want to have to look at a receipt. And so I was like, okay, I have to do whatever it takes to make it so I do not have to look at a receipt ever again. So like it took time, right? Like this was mid last year. Only now did we hire someone that she works fully virtually, but she's terrific, that is going to be taking over all of our accounting systems. And then our old bookkeeper and accountant have been overhauling all of our accounting systems and then setting up like fully fledged out systems for all of the businesses and all of the flips and all of the stuff. And they're doing all of their things. And it sucks because like, okay, it's a lot of money for them to be doing all that. And that's why we never did it before. But like I knew, like I will sacrifice anything to get this off of my plate. Like even me dealing with all the zoning stuff is like I actually like that. Like I like going in and I like chatting with the people and I like, I like all the pre-construction planning and I like looking for new deals and I like all that. Cannot deal with the financials. So like it's I think also like when thinking of burnout, it's like okay, what part of what you're doing is so miserable, and like you might not know the answer right now, but over time to start like thinking about like what is the worst part of it for you and how can you slowly put that on someone else's plate, and it's not going to be.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's lead gen. It's the cold calling to get the leads. That's my only lead source right now. It's my only lead gen source. So it's literally that. And I'm waiting until I get some deals closed so I can reinvest, whether it's VAs, whether it's SEO, whether it's pay per lead, whatever. I'll have a couple 10,000 or two, or maybe even more to throw at that. So like that will alleviate a lot of my time. And the main thing, that's the main burnout. Because like I hate waking up every day having to cold call people, knowing that fucking 90% of people I'm going to talk to, I'm going to reopen a fucking wound about a recently dying loved one. So that sucks. I don't like being that person every day, but I get up and I call the people because the people that are out there need my help, need my help. But like it doesn't get me excited to go cold call. So I'm gonna either have somebody else do it or find a different way to do it. But I need money to do that, and I have some deals that need to close.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. And like I understand maybe it's not a good answer for you, Suzanne, but like that's where I'm at. That's what I need to keep doing.
But that's really fair, like, because because like that's the thing, like it's not a tomorrow thing. It's not a next week type of thing, but it's that thing of like if you can keep your eyes on the goal of like, okay, as soon as I get these closed, like these are my next steps to get this off of my plate.
Yeah, and paper lead's gonna be the easiest, and honestly, it's probably gonna come down to that because then like what's gonna happen is SEO. There's gonna be too many companies. There's gonna be too many factors. I'm an analytical guy. I look up everything before I decide, and then by the time it's gonna be the half the year is gone, right? So it's probably just gonna be like increasing my budget paper lead pretty heavily. Um,
So
that's
Mark,
probably what I'm leaning toward.
in an ideal world, what does your ideal day look like? Are you managing baby wholesalers and helping them close their deals?
No,
What are you
no,
doing?
like it depends. If my lead flows, if I have good lead flow inbound,
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about all that. Right now, I'm doing that as a second thing because number one, I like to teach people. Number two, I want people to know what I do so that when they do have issues, they can bring it to me and it can be an additional lead source, which will be deal flow. But like that's not what I want to spend my time doing.
You
I
want
want
to
to spend my
be
time. I want to go on like 10 appointments a week. I want to be face to face, belly to belly in people's houses for now, right? Until I can get that pretty consistently where I don't have to lead gen. I'll call, I'll process them one call, I'll meet them, I will sign them if they're signable. Other ones I'll put on follow up. And then from there, once I have that pretty consistently going with X amount of deals or X amount of revenue, then it's like, then I'm going to replace myself from that. So it's just slowly replacing myself from every part of the business. And then eventually, like, I don't know, not have to worry about it.
Retire on a beach in the Bahamas.
Yeah, yeah, not necessarily that. Like I would still need to do something, right? I don't know what that would be though. So like, but I'll have the time to figure it out. That's like what I'm trying to get at.
if you could do like 3, 4 flips a year instead of 10 appointments a week, would you be more interested in flipping instead of doing to me wholesaling, you being as emotional as you are in my opinion, and you doing wholesaling, I think is like a huge emotional wear on you.
The name of the game is controlling the deal. In my book, that is the name of the game is the deal. And if I don't have the deal, I don't want to be a part of it. I want the deal. I want direct to fucking seller. I don't want anybody else in my way. I want to be making the judgment calls. That's what matters. Because then I can pick and choose and do 4 things, right? But on the side, I'm wholesaling 10 to 15 deals. And then I'm taking the real 4 like home runs, $200,000 fees or whatever it is because I'm doing the work and my superpower is off-market acquisitions. That is my
Yeah.
superpower. So like I want to harness that. To step back and just go buy deals from other places, like I'm wasting my superpower. And even if I offload 70% of everything that I know onto somebody that where my team can just be running in the background and I can pick, like you said, an ATM, hey, a flip here, right? But this is running. Hey, a flip there. Like that's what I want and what makes sense for me. For now, it might change, but I want the fucking deal, baby. Give me the deal, you know? I want to control that shit.
I ask myself the same question every single day, which is how can I do what I'm doing with less stress and more money? I swear to God, every single day. All I think about all day long is how can I make more money and have less stress and do less and like physically do less. And but I was talking, and this is like constant conversations that we have is like and like Suzanne said, I think it's a great thing to think about. Okay, what's one thing I can do to be 1% better to get towards that next step? And a lot of it is like, for us at least, it's just like even research. Like, what's one new thing I can learn this week that will take me to that level? I learned a lot at the meetup. I did not want to go. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Talked to a lot of people. That was actually really good.
Honestly, I'm thinking like lately. So one of my big topics this week, like with my therapist and just for me in general, is rethinking the friendships that I keep close. because I am an introvert, but at the same time too, like I know like life is better with friends, period. And I'm also like in a season where I feel like I'm outgrowing people and finding new friends and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I love the idea of like you going to meetups. And if the question is you ask yourself every fucking day, what could I be doing differently with, how do I make more with less stress? No offense, Rachel, just a thought. Maybe you don't fucking know the answer, which is a lie because I'm a big believer that you know your answer. But sometimes I think you get your own head up your own ass and you can't see your answer. And so for me personally, I find my answers by talking it out with people. So like both of you, I keep thinking like, I would love to see you just fuck around with more people. Mark, you talking to people and just telling them, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And just kind of like, I don't even know, but like talking it out, having friends, because I also think friends keep you accountable. Like this whole thing, friends keep you accountable. The simple fact that every week you're here and I'm like, up your ass, what the fuck are you doing? Right? It maybe pushes you a little bit differently. And I think Rachel, for you too, like, I feel like you and Doug are like so insular, like you're the top of the tower controlling the 30,000 every single week and nobody knows the pain that you're in. And I know that feeling, but I also think like life is better with friends. And if you're not like, if friends are not finding you, you got to go out and make them. And even if you force yourself on people where it's like friend rape, where you're like, I'm going to be your friend. I'm just going to tell you things and maybe you listen and maybe you talk back to me. I really think for me, again, me just telling people what the hell I'm doing, I can hear myself say something, or I know the thought in my head where I'm like, I'm going to have to explain this thing. And I'm like, fuck, I don't like the thing that I'm going to say. I don't want to say that. Me going through that experience of feeling the feeling that I'm like, shit, I don't like this, and having to confront it and be like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to have this conversation with somebody again. I don't have to want to admit that again. I think I'm going to try something different, or I gotta shake it up. But it's almost like when you have friends or when you're forced to talk about something, you're forced to confront that feeling that maybe otherwise you are running from, hiding from, avoiding, what, or you don't know how to answer it. So you're just like, I don't know, I'm going to do the same thing I do every night, try and take over the world. Anyway, I would love to see the two of you have more friends, talk to more people. Obviously, this is a great space to do it in, but like, this isn't the only space. You got to have lots of friends. Yeah.
Makes sense.
No, it's
Anyway.
like I think like like Doug and I set a goal of like, okay, once a week we take someone out to lunch and we do some kind of networking something. And like we've been doing that, and like just like people, like we have a lot of friends. We don't have a lot of friends that do what we do on the level that we do it. Let's put it like that. Like a lot of, and like lately, like reconnecting with the people who have done what we do has been like really helpful, and like reaching out to people that you know, but you just don't talk to like too often, and just being like, hey, what do you do for this? And what do you do for that? And like tapping on those resources, because I actually disagree, because I don't know the answer to my question, but
you do.
That's the difference. I don't want an answer in that way. I think the answer will change over time. Hang on, no. The answer will change over time. Like you have to try a million different things to figure out what is the right key. And I think it's every day us trying a different key and seeing where it's going to fit. Like the last meetup we did, I learned a lot about like development, about like the big boy development, like 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 16 million, 30 million development. Learned a hell of a lot of crap about that. And I was like, holy crap, you don't need to know anything about construction to know about development. You don't have to know anything about it. Like I met this developer that knows nothing about construction and is doing tens of like millions of dollars in development. Knows nothing. And I was like, wow. And I was like, maybe that's a path. Maybe that's a path that we go into and start focusing on these big developments instead of the nitty gritty construction. So anyway, my point being is like, we constantly ask ourselves this question to be like, where is the right place to put our eggs? Because I want my eggs in every basket. You know, like we've been having meetings to do a DHI Brazil. Like who knows? You know, like we do a lot. We have our eggs in a lot of different baskets. But if we're constantly asking ourselves that question, I think it'll push us to a better place.
I would love to see you go to lunch or whatever, fuck it up with that guy that you met, the developer who doesn't know about construction.
I actually like he was such a good guy too, and like I really should take him to lunch because he was like the
No,
night.
no, bitch. You are taking him to lunch. Take him to lunch, take him to dinner, massage his feet, suck his toes. I don't care. But I'm telling you, by this time next week, and I will fucking hunt you down because I will ask you every single day, did you call your construction friend who doesn't know shit about construction? I'm serious. The developer friend that doesn't know about construction, pull it out of your ass and just be like, you need to eat food, don't you? Eat food with me. Okay. I will try to be the least amount of annoying, or maybe not. Just give me an hour's worth of your time. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, like these people want to, they're in the same boat as you where they're like, I don't have anyone to talk to. I would love to have like a real estate therapist in so many ways, just to be able to dump all the things that I got going on, the lessons I learned, trying to figure things out, be a sounding board for somebody else. Be like, bitch, I speak real estate. I'm fluent in it. I would love to be a sounding board. I want to talk to you, period. How do I do that?
Yeah.
How can I do that in a way that you're happy to spend time with me for just an hour? What do I got to do?
Typically, we invite them to really, really, really nice lunches, and we pay for really, really, really nice lunches. That's our key. We're like, hey, let me take you to Fogo de Chão. Let me take you to like one of these places. I'll
Oh,
pay.
damn.
Fogo.
Yeah, we take
Yum.
like the nice lunches to like.
I call that Fogo de Chão. The way you said it made me know that I am not Fogo de Chão level. Holy fuck. Fogo de Chão. And I'm like, what was that? And I was like, oh my God, I think I know what she's talking about.
Yes.
Me,
Oh, also, Mineirão in, I think it's Malden or Medford, is the exact same food at a quarter of the cost. So if you ever want to go there, that's the good place.
Wait, say that again.
Mineirão.
Spell that again.
Minerao. Mineirão.
Cool.
we need to have like so I have a spreadsheet for all like my favorite dog parks for Rupert, because I travel back and forth between Rhode Island and North Shore, and I always try to take them to like a fun new spot. So I have a Google Map sheet of like saved places, but we should also have it for like good food places. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat of like trying to have friends and relate in relationships with people in whatever ways that exist. And so one of them is this, letting people know what I'm up to, knowing what you're up to. That way, as opportunities crisscross my plate during the week, I can pimp you out. The second thing is in person. I want to have like dinners, lunches, dinners, I don't know. And then hiking. So the hiking we were supposed to have got canceled. I should lie and say we canceled it we rescheduled it just for you, Rachel. 419 is the hike, but I'll publish it. But so I want to hike with people. That's my style. Like I'm a walking, talking person. I'm not a sitting, eating food, talking person. Like, how do you do that? How do you put food in your mouth but also have conversation? I don't know how to do that. I tried to eat that stupid sandwich, Mark. That was hideous. What a nightmare lunch conversation to have.
Oh, yeah.
Shoving food in your mouth, the thing's fucking everywhere. It doesn't even taste that good. That's also why I'm like, we need to have a list of like good places worth our money to go to. But anyway, lunches, hikes, this weekly call. And what else am I doing? What am I doing, Mark?
What are your goals? Are you looking for your next deal now? I haven't heard anything.
I am also focused on my eggs like you, but I don't want to put them in many baskets. I just want to put it in one basket forever. But anyway, so on a weekly basis, I have these calls. On a monthly basis, I have dinners. I'm trying to do dinners on a monthly basis, maybe every other month. On a quarterly basis, what am I doing? Oh, on a quarterly basis, we're doing the hikes. And then on a daily basis, I have that Facebook group that hopefully we get to trade deals in. Yeah, the Facebook group is trading deals and trading resources. So I have some things I want to do. Like I think this week I want to build out that resource because I have it. I have like a resource page that I want anyone to have access to, same as you, where I have good contractors. I have moody contractors and I will put notes about them in there. So in case you want to go slumming for a minute, if you're a guy who's like with the girlfriend, with the ex-wife, mine is the same boat, like ask about their relationship, maybe figure out where they're living and then decide to give them the contract. But yeah, so I have resources too. But I think for this week, how can I be 1% better? Get my resources out there because I've been feeling guilty about not doing it. I want to do resources. Let's make a restaurant app, restaurant map, so I can hoard good restaurants, and then get hike on schedule. And the last thing is I'm going to close my house. So I have a couple things I need to finish. I need to put one step in the basement. I need to do the vinyl. I need to confront my GC who's flaking on me at the last minute and he's being really moody. So I have two options, which are, I thought about this. Option one is say nothing and pretend everything is hunky-dory. Option two, tell him to sit in his car and don't you dare come on my piece of property that I own, motherfucker. Option three, sit in the car and hand him a note of our breakup, why we're breaking up, and like explain everything. And then for some reason, I want to give him lip gloss because he really likes lip balm, like he always has it. And I just found a really good Korean, I think the best chapstick ever. I found it. It's Korean, but it's in the shape of a little peach, which is very demasculating. And how do I give him a breakup letter plus lip gloss? I don't know. But those are my three options: is pretend everything. Or fucking opposite side of the spectrum, which is don't you dare come on my fucking property, you beep, beep, beep. And the third one, which is kind of middle ground, is type up this whole letter of where everything went wrong and why we're not working together and give it to him to read in the car when he's parked outside and I'm with the inspector getting the final inspection. What do we think?
Do you need it? Do you want legitimate advice?
Yeah.
Do none of those things.
Okay, what am I doing? Don't show up at all?
No, so do you need him for your final inspection?
So he's always there. And I think he like shows up for the final inspection. I have a great relationship with the inspector. I wanted him to come to see the house because he's a good friend of mine. So like he and I are going to party. This GC is like being bad and he knows he's being bad and he's going to be very moody. And so the answer is, do I confront the moodiness? Do I pretend? No, really.
You do not burn bridges unless you have to. Never burn bridges in construction unless you need to.
Yeah.
If it's a man, men do not want the whole breakup text, breakup letter. What they don't want to hear it. I'm sure he's had his own crap he had to put up through in the construction that pissed him off. And so like I'm sure he has a million other things. He has other projects, has to keep himself busy, his guy busy. You know, he's go. He has to make money. You know, maybe he's got his own crap sorting out. And something that Doug taught me is he taught me the magic of being political, which I am not. I want to set someone's house on fire and stab them in the back and tell them to never show up again. And Doug is, he'll be cool as a cucumber, like, hey man, how's it going? It's good to see you, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you Doug's advice. Be political, act like nothing happened. Play whatever you have to. If you have to pay him to get him there, hey man, I'm so sorry. I got to get someone in there ASAP. You're not making the schedule. I'm going to grab my buddy over here to come in and finish up the work. Be nice about it. Play it political. Don't have to go through the whole breakup with everything because you'll never know when you're in a situation that you need someone or you need a referral, you need something. So don't burn your bridges.
True, but I'm sitting on a contractor group of 16,000. And the day that the whole tide changed was the day that I realized he's replaceable. And I was like, why am I so beholden to this guy who is not, that's what I'm saying. I'm Tony Robbins, this bitch, and I'm burning the boats. I don't know, like, so my new theme this year is unhinged. It's actually my theme from last year, which is unhinged, unbothered, and disrespectfully offense mode, because I am such a nice person all the time that I get to a point where people start to walk over me. And I'm like, sweetie, just because I let you walk over me doesn't mean I don't know my own worth. And you of all people should know it. And let's Puerto Rican fight this bitch out right now because you don't want to be diplomatic. And so I will show you. You don't need to be scared about Latinas. You need to be scared about this hybrid bitch right here because I will rip your, anyway.
Well, that was the thing too, like, you know, not letting them walk all over you in the process as well, right? Like, you know, it's gotta be firm boundaries. And it's gotta be like, the unfortunate thing is you're like, it's only you managing stuff. Cause I say good cop, bad cops works very, very, very efficiently. Like the guys crap their pants. No one likes talking to me. I'm the bad guy on all the jobs.
Oh God.
And Doug is the good guy. but it worked. Bad guy, good guy works incredibly well for these flips and for.
I'm just thinking like I should do a whole action thing where I'm like, Suzanne, hold me back. Just like me and my multiple personalities. So one is a good cop, one is bad cop, and just have a very bipolar show for this person. He would enjoy it, I think. And the other thing too is I'm gonna do it when he's alone. That way, if he ever tells anybody about it, I'm gonna be like, no, when have you ever seen me be like that?
I still vote being political, but
yeah, that's right.
Look, I've been in the construction. I haven't been in construction a long time, but like, let me tell you, like, eventually everyone knows everybody, and you find subs find out stuff. Like, I know a contractor that begged us to do his project. Thank God. I ended up knowing every single sub that worked on his project. That they all came to us afterward and told us what happened. He stole from every single subcontractor, didn't pay any of his subcontractors to do his house. Every single subcontractor ended up coming to us and told us what happened. From the freaking carpet guys to the framers to the insulation, they just all ended up knowing each other and like reaching out. And so like even like 16,000 people, like construction is the type of business that like people open and close businesses within 2 and 3 years very quickly. The people that stay around, everyone ends up knowing each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I vote being political, but burn your bridges if you want to. So I love setting people's houses on fire, and I would do it all the time. Douglas holds me back.
Question. So my advice was this. Tell him how you're feeling about the situation, that you need to get this fucking permit buttoned up. And if he doesn't do it, let him know you're going to find somebody who's going to do it.
Exactly.
That's not burning a bridge. That's just letting him know what's up.
So it's done. The work that needs to happen isn't that bad. Like one of the windows is lower, and so the guy who came out was like, I need you to put vinyl on it because it needs to be tempered in the event that a kid breaks it. So like I ordered it on Amazon. I already got it approved, put it on, and then there needs to be a step downstairs, which I made out of cinder block, and I took a picture, and it's fine. Like it's done, right? So I don't need him. Go ahead. What?
You know that you don't have to replace the whole window. You could just buy a film on Amazon and you could just put the film on. You just did that.
Yeah.
You replace the whole window.
You just say it again?
You can buy a window film.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't replace the whole window.
I just bought the film on Amazon.
Oh, right. Never mind. I thought you replaced the whole window, and I was about to say, no, I can't believe you did that. Never mind.
No. I talked to them, and I play the thing where I'm like, Eric, there was this other inspector that came in. You know, what is this about? I know nothing. Are you sure it's approved? Let me send you an email with the Amazon thing and all the numbers of like DCX 446, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Yeah. Anyway,
that in a step.
So that's the other thing that I'm thinking of too, is like, there are some people, especially now with like politics, that like, I'm also like, oh my God, I don't know that I want to be close. So that's another thing that I'm trying to figure out, is like the friends that I keep close to me versus the friends that I am friends and then friendly sort of deal. And so I think I'm going to keep things friendly and kosher and above board and professional, because I always tell him working with me is a privilege. So I'm going to act like that. But in my mind,
set the boats
napalm. I call it napalm. I'm fucking everything destroyed. Yes. Anyway.
But he wasn't showing up for these 2 items, or did other crap happen?
He was, so all along the way, he ran his mouth about my plumber, every electrician, every plumber. But again, he's the GC. I let him complain, whatever makes him happy. Okay. And I'm going to listen to you, because at the end of the day, I'm always trying to figure out like, what's the point he's trying to make? Is it valid? Is it not? Like, I don't want to be in trouble's way. So he bitched and moaned about everything. I have a style of like being very nice to people, being very accommodating to people. And then he used to run his mouth often. And when it was time to where it was like, bitch, you're going to piss off Giovanni, you're going to hold up his work, and that's a no-no for me. That's when I would get these people by the balls and be like, it has to be done or you're out. So all along the way, I've dealt with his moodiness, and that's a whole nother thing. So like I would cook for him. He's keto and dairy free, lactose free, and he's Latin, which is like, he was like, if somebody cooks dinner for me or lunch for me, like that's everything. So I was like, great, I'm going to cook for you, and I'm going to cook for your worker, because I don't do jealousy, and I got to cook keto, and I suck at cooking. Okay. So this takes me like 3 hours to get this shit together, because I'm feeling very grateful and I want to show him my gratitude, and I make it. And 30 minutes after he eats, he's storming and I'm just like, for the love of God, like, bro, just for a day. Like, you should be happy for a day, happy for the rest of the week. Like, just be happy, please, because you being miserable on the site is just, it's stinky. Your stinky mood holds everybody hostage. It's not good. And you slow down, in all honesty. You get slow. He doesn't talk to anybody. His worker can't help him. His worker's just watching him work. Anyway, at the end, he's supposed to close out his permit. He left a long time ago. He's been working on other jobs. It's not even a half day's worth of work, like stupid things that he forgot. He didn't install the closet upstairs correctly, and I'm going to force him to do it. The little latch when the door closed, he never drilled the little thing to put it in. He never put in my kitchen legs, and I paid him $2,500 to install my kitchen. So all the little things that you didn't finish, bitch, finish it. And I gave him my credit cards to Lowe's to buy whatever he needed. He had the garage door opener for a house for 2 months. He could come and go as he pleased. He lives in the next town over. Guess who never came? Guess who never did what he was supposed to do? Guess who never was up his ass every day asking, like, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? Is it done? But bitch, we're selling the house next fucking week. Do or die, guy. It's like game over. And because the inspection schedule is nutty, as soon as we failed, I was like, get us right back on the inspection schedule and just, I will finish the 2 things. And then him bitching and moaning. So it's just moodiness, inconsistent communication, and then the gaslighting thing, which I don't like, which is like, he's in the directory, Gregg, by the way. Everyone's in the directory. Well, you should be in the directory. Okay, good. Anyway, so yeah, I just don't like the gaslighting. Shoot me straight. If you can't come, if you don't want to come, Gregg, I'll tag you in it. Just shoot me like that. And he would be the person like, as soon as I know, you'll know. Don't talk to me like that. Ha ha ha. And I was like, bitch, I talk fucking nice to you. I like all the time talk nice to you. And I got fucking nowhere. And that lady is singing next week. Time's up. Get it done. What's the problem? And he's been paid for everything. So somebody else yelled at me and they're like, you shouldn't have paid. And I'm like, no, that's how we work. You finish the job, I pay you, bitch. There's no games over here. And I give you more fucking work to do all the time. If you don't want to do it, fucking say that. Don't be like, I gotta do this now. And oh, fucking A. No. Anyway, so that's at the point where I was like, listen, he does good work. His price is decent, but the moodiness, the inconsistency, this like, just when I talk to him, I feel like I have to put like kitty gloves on where I'm like, please summon all your strength not to scream at me, but I have to ask you, are we back on the inspection calendar? For me to have to say all this fluff because I have no idea what his mood is going to be is not fun for me. And it doesn't have to be that way. So that's why I said, like, once I found out like I didn't need to suck his D, I was like, I'm going to suck somebody else's D. Like, why am I fucking with you? Why am I fucking with you? I don't have to. I like you, but you're in left field. Go be in left field, honey. I'll leave you alone.
Yeah. And I mean, for contract, I can say it from like a contractor's perspective, it's not unusual. Everything you said is not unusual. Like, you're going to run into it 10, 15, 20 more times. Like, it's part of it. Like, contractors are typically not traditionally educated, like, by the books. And so, like, they're educated in a different way. They work in a different way. And for someone to have a business for a long period of time, like, it takes a certain, like, a lot of, like I said, most contractors, most people, they burn out within 2-3 years because like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's very complicated. And like, to be honest, like, when people complain to me about contractors, more than anything, I feel the contractor's pain, because doing what he does and doing what we do is incredibly difficult. And no one tells you how to do it. No one tells you how to quote. No one tells you how to do what you're doing. Like, everything you do is on the fly and figuring it out. And like, we screw up a lot, like, as contractors, and not like we DHI, like, I mean, like, we, like, in the span of learning life, like, when you don't have someone to traditionally teach you, that's why there's so many bad contractors out there and so many like bad practices, because there's no book, there's no rule book, and there's no one to teach you.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks what you're going through. And like, I know that, like, I hate to tell you, you're going to go through it more.
I know. I've been through it a ton of times, but to me, I'm like, I don't kiss anybody's ass as much as I kiss his ass, just because of like all the other things we've been through. He's really intelligent. It's really easy to like, it's really fun solving problems with him. But when his mood is moody, I told him, I was like, bro, it's a challenge for me. Please, for the love of God, leave it at the door. Like, it becomes a thing. You don't know. I don't dump on you. When you come here, I make sure like everything is taken care of. like silly, stupid things that they always have a toilet. They always have a clean table with like, I even leave treats for them all the time that I want them to like not sit on the floor eating their lunch. Like, I respect you. I pay you. I'm very transparent. If you fuck up, like talk to me. Let's figure it out together. And he knows this because we've had tons of time to do this. But I get it. If you want to forget who I am in this moment, if you want to be spicy spice, okay, fine. Go take a break in the corner. But have some self-awareness to like maybe apologize or maybe know that you're a little bit of a dick, because I will tell you when I fuck up. And I do. I tell them like, listen, I wish that wasn't the case. This is what I was trying to do. I fucked up and I'm sorry. And here's where we're at. And this is how we solve it. So I will acknowledge the problem, but I'll also tell you what the solution is. And he's just not there right now. And I think he's because he's struggling with his personal life. Because when I hear his problems are like, and I'm like, it doesn't need to be that. And also none of my damn business. Leave it outside. I'm happy for you. You be happy for me. Let's be happy together. Because this is
political. That's what we have to say all the time to like everyone we work with. Like, be political with the client, especially. Like, our ex-partner was telling people like about all of his divorce issues, and oh God, like nobody wants to hear. Like, I didn't say this to him, but I was like, please stop talking to our clients about your divorce. Like, I cannot. But yes,
I just think people are like, and we deal with sellers, right, that'll like trauma dump on us, and you're like, I think you are clinically lonely, which I get, because your generation, even our generation, is a little bit stigmatized to like talk about what's really going on. And it's hard to like when I'm going through my stuff like with Z, I didn't tell anybody. I'm like, I don't know how to handle it. And even if I had best friends that know that like I'm in a pickle, I don't think you can drag me out. I'm like a caged animal. I will fight you off of me because I don't want you to touch me. Don't know what I'm doing, but I think I'm doing something. But yeah, so trauma dumping is, when I see that, I'm just kind of like, you are a sincerely lonely person. I feel sad for you. I'll give you an hour, but like, I'm not paid to do this. So it's a gift. I can't hear you.
It's a best friend thing. You trauma dumped only to your best friends, and then like work thing, you leave it separate. That's 100%. No one has time for that.
That's the other thing that I'm learning is like, I was like, I wonder if I got too close. The thing is like Gregg and Kenley, they're like BFFs forever. They know everything and they have a really amazing working relationship. Yeah, I know a lot of people talk about like finding partners. Like Mark too, you were like, I want to find a partner, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like you go through a lot of people, and then even if you pick the right person, they go through their own stuff, and if they're not willing to like be a good person to show up to the relationship and like want to work on stuff, it can very quickly blow up. Yeah, you can't anticipate everything.
Business partner or life partner?
Business partner.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
You're different. I mean, your life partner is your business partner. And no offense, Gregg, but like you and Kenley are a little bit gay for each other, but in a very nice way that works. Like they're almost a throuple, their unit. But having a partner, like, yeah. And then you throw money into it and things get weird. It does.
Yeah. Doug had a partner, not a me partner, but a business partner. And that went really badly. And that was after his divorce. We basically paid him for an entire year for him to go party in Brazil when we were like dealing with the $30,000 a week payroll and our butts, and we were doing all the work. And it really hit me when we were on our honeymoon and we were still working and dealing with subcontractors, and he was off partying in Brazil. And I was like, okay, we can't do this. Like,
it's not fair. Yeah.
It was really hard, and it was really bad for a really long time. I don't think we would easily get into another like partnership, to tell you the truth. Cause like we both were, well, I mean, technically we do have partnerships today. Like, like we own a motorcycle shop in Brazil and we have a partner that takes care of it. We have a couple other businesses, like Andrew was brought on to Tough Guys, and like we have like a couple stuff, but like ultimately we always maintain majority of control and everything.
Yeah. I'm definitely like, I love the expression that like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. I'm a big fan of like, I know that like real estate is more fun with friends, and I get that. And I think us as humans, like we want to be connected with people, but it's definitely a challenge. I don't know where like the happy thing comes into play, or how actively you have to work at being a great partner. And then again, even if you make that choice on your side to be a great partner, if things are going off with your other partner and they're not communicating with you, like you can only do as much as you can do. And so I do think to a certain extent I have a positive outlook on partnerships and, you know, working together. But at the same time, like I've seen some things, I know my limits. I know I have bad days too. So I don't know what the answer is, but it takes a lot of work, I guess, to have a great partnership, maybe.
Yeah.
Other people do it. For a long time, my friend's dad has a masonry company down in Florida, and they've had a partnership now for like 20 years. Insanely successful. The guy is just rolling in money. Like, you know, my sister's friend is like, you know, the type of girl that daddy pays for everything because he's that successful. But I think that's incredibly rare. I barely see it where people stay in partnerships. At least I think like from what I see is like partnerships work really well short term. Like, hey, we're doing a flip, let's do a flip together. But not like let's open up a flipping business together and we will only do the flips with each other and we will only that I don't think works.
Yeah. I don't even know if I need a partner for whatever it is I'm trying to do with the wholesale side of things. It's just more of like it would be great to have like a battle buddy, like where you're doing all the same hard work, like working towards it, and then eventually you split off and hey, you're handling that. I just think like the growth over time of that with somebody that you can share it with, I think that is like cool, but like I don't think it's necessary. But I am also just like trying to solve everything myself, so that's just how it goes.
Have you seen Moss Home Solutions out of Rhode Island?
Yes. Yeah, I'm familiar with them, yeah.
So I don't know how you feel about I don't know them personally. I know them like from online. But like out of nowhere, they've grown like not out of nowhere. They've been in business for a while now. But like they have grown really big. Even the past like 6, 8 months, they've like been expanding a lot. And it seems like they have like a pretty cool, at least from the outside, Instagram looking in, that they have a cool business model. And I don't know how much they pay their people or how they do their partnerships, but it seems like they're just expanding and expanding. And like, yeah, they were originally like a husband and wife team, but it seems like they had a good thing going in like the way that they brought on people. Like maybe it would be interesting to like have a conversation with them about like the way that they bring on their folks and how they do their business.
Yes, I know very little about it. I might be working on a deal with them, maybe depending on the answer to this deal that I get from the sellers. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. I don't want, it's funny because like I want to replace myself, but I see most of my people that I hire being virtual because like I don't want to have an office. I don't want to have 15 employees showing up to the office every day that I have to lock up or somebody has to be responsible. Like, I don't want that shit. Like, I want a lean, mean team that's like doing 15 wholesale deals a year at like 50K plus a deal. That's like that's my ideal scenario, and I can close those all myself, and then eventually bring on like an acquisition manager. Like that would probably be the only person, but no office for him to need to be in. I want it to be lean, and it's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know.
It's interesting. Like at the meetup that I met these folks from, I'll remember their company name, and they're an acquisition company. And I did not realize that I learned this acquisition and deposition, disposition are two different things. And their company well, okay, like I knew there are two different things. Like I'm not an idiot, but I thought that like, okay, you do one, you do like, why would you sell it to someone else? Like, why wouldn't you just find the investor? But they're an acquisition company that only sends their deals to New Western. So New Western has basically like only at least gotten a lot of their deals from this company. And they have like 5 or 6 people there. And I was like, that's a really interesting. And I was talking to like the owner of it, that I forget his name right now, but he was like, yeah, I spend like $45,000 a month just in like the marketing aspect of it. And he came from doing flips, and then moved into wholesaling because he's like, by the time I was putting in I was doing the math of how many hours I was putting in the flips, like with all the risk I was doing, it just wasn't worth it. I was making like $3 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like my point being is like, I think it's like really interesting to see like other people's company and how they wholesale and like, picture like, okay, like you said, like, what do you want your picture to look like? And it looks like you more or less know, but like having it more defined through time is also really nice. And like talking to people and say like, hey, like what has gone right and what has gone wrong? Because maybe you end up being just like, maybe you hate the acquisition part of it, but maybe you end up just being like a disposition, like maybe you end up like finding investors and you only just end up selling wholesale deals if you don't like doing all the lead stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. It'll definitely change over time. But like also the amount of deal flow I know I can do, like I can do 15 deals a year at 50K or more in assignment fee. Like I know that is possible with not that much work. Like I don't need a huge disposition team or anything crazy. It's 15 fucking deals a year. That's not a lot, right? Now I gotta probably sign 18 or 20 a year to get the 15 closed, so that's a little more on the acquisition side of things. It's definitely doable. I just need to like plug and play a team. Yeah, REI Sift. I probably should. So it's funny. Greg, when you were talking about like you used to run the VA company and you're like it's mostly like new people who come in and have way too much software and like that's me right now. I'm like that. I have everything and it's just a one man show and it's funny. But yeah, REI Sift.
So
Maybe
he is, and that's how I first met him, REISF. So I don't know. Do you even know Claudio Diaz? Dias?
yeah, he's the one who like I talked to and he was like, "Yeah, dude, you should join sub 2."
Yeah.
That's like
So he is like the curtain in the Wizard of Oz. He's like
yes.
the one. And he is an REI Sift, I don't even know, preacher, prophet, something. And Gregg is one of like the original REISF people. They also have something called like the Warrior Room or something. It's very military-esque because the owner is ex-military, but they're hardcore into REISF.
Okay.
Yeah, that War Room. War, death, blood, swords.
Are you using it
Testosterone.
just for list stacking or like whole CRM stuff too and whatnot? I heard they were like adding a CRM or they might have one. But
Yes, but as time goes on, he's also like building it out. So that's the one thing that I always liked about Tyler. He was always improving what he had. So I think originally it might have had like the competitive edge was list stacking, but at some point in time, Greg, if you ask him to like whatever, show off what he has on his side, he'll talk to you. He's like REI Sift radio. You can't shut him off unless you say, please stop, and then he will. But he will talk to you about it up and down, out, like blow your mind with it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, RESF is all about, well, I'm not going to go on a tangent here, but it's all about, trimming off the fat inside of your marketing software, avoiding the shiny objects and, getting the most bang for your buck by, kind of teaching you how to spend the least amount of money on generating leads and actually keeping what you need and removing what you don't. And I would take a look at it. There's a bunch of challenges and stuff. Usually there's stuff coming up like there'll be some type of educational course and you'll get like 3 months of REI SIP for free. That way you can
Yeah.
learn how to use the product and then use the product and see if it's a good fit for you. But all the other stuff where you have these influencers who don't use the fucking product, and then they market it that way they can, get the money.
Yeah.
Uh, this is his product. He believes in it. And, he still does the calls with people. He answers your questions. He's not some, elusive fucking creature. He believes in his product. He's the one who stands on the pulpit and teaches you all about it. I would definitely recommend you check it out. If you're trying to figure out how to cut your expenses and you're saying that making that much money off of wholesale deals is feasible, it certainly is. I made, I don't know, I made by myself, my biggest deal was 96,000. And that was just using the processes that I learned over time, bro.
Nice. Love it. Yeah, I'll check it out. I think I did sign up for one of their like whatever month or 2 month type challenge things or whatever. I was checking it out.
Yeah, and my joke down there is a real group called Whites Against Replacement, but Tyler decided to use the acronym WAR, and then the logo that he uses is a white fist with war on it, and people always ask me what the fuck it means. So I'm like, oh, I'm in a real estate group.
Yikes.
You
Questionable.
actually, Mark, you and Greg are both integrators without question. And so you guys would have a total nerd party if you got together, but you would love each other. So anyway, I put you on a text already.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So we have a plan as to what we're going to do 1% better, right? Mark is going to continue carrying the mountain that he carries every single month. He's not going to change anything because he's perfect until May 1st when he cashes out a whole bunch of things and then decides to spend his money after he writes a plan for 6 to 8 months about how you're going to spend your money.
Yeah,
It's all
either
recorded. You said it.
SEO or PPL, likely.
Rachel's going to have a hot, sexy Fogo de Chao date with her developer friend that doesn't know shit about contracting ASAP. And Greg is going to have a happy weekend, maybe crawfishing with some hot dogs, maybe not. And then for me, I'm going to be on my computer. I'm going to get 125 Haverhill Street closed. And I'm also going to kick it up a notch with the whole creative elite thing. My creative elite thing is honestly just like a social circle for me. Because again, I think this is better with friends, period. And so that daily group that we get to chat in and trade deals and resources, this weekly call, monthly dinners, maybe every other month dinners, and monthly hikes, quarterly hikes, sorry. All of that goes into let's be friends, let's help each other out. Good friends being good people, being good friends to each other, making good money, doing good work. That's it. Yeah.
Good.
Also, do you have another Facebook group that I'm not in?
Creative Elite. So Creative Elite is like my real estate friends group. And then the contractor group is to help me get stuff done for flipping. That's it.
Yeah. Creative Elite group.
You're not in it?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll put you in it. No problem. This is honestly, this is it. This is a better version of it, but I will absolutely put you in the group. Yeah. So that group is supposed to be like, I found out people were stealing from people that I thought were my friends were stealing, and that really like bummed me out big time. And so this I wanted to create like, and another thing about sub 2 is a lot of people thought sub 2 was a safe space to do stuff in. And it just didn't end up being that way because again, even if you come into it with the right feelings, your circumstances change and you make bad choices anyway. So I'm looking for that group. I told everybody like I vouch for every single fucker in this group and we don't steal from each other. And there's a little bit of a generous spirit where we say like I'm where I'm at because people were good to me and let's be good to each other. That's it. Again, the same thing as this. Good people doing good work, making good money, being good friends. That's it. It's very simple. No fucking stealing because good friends don't fucking steal, bitch. That's it. Anyway, I'll add you to that group. Not a problem. That's it. Okay, everyone, we are over time. I apologize. Thank you so much for spending time. And again, this is a place for us to just be better. That's it. Be better, help each other out, the end. Every Tuesday. Bye.